Dean, it doesn't happen often, but I have been let down. Not by our community, but by some members of the community. It
Oh,
doesn't happen often. Burned,
I
as
feel
they
like
would
it
say.
happens pretty often.
No, not to me. Not to me, Dean.
Why?
Not
What
to
happened?
me. So, I, so typically I just advertise my stuff here, right? And on Instagram. And I was like, you know what? I'm a man about town. I will advertise on some other groups. And so I asked for permission from the admins and got permission and put up a post for some 3D printed parts. And they were essentially made to order. So like, if six people ordered, I would only make six. Uh, and there was, then I went against my better judgment, I think is the problem here. I went against my gut feeling. And when I did it, I was like, I should charge these people up front. That's what I always tax one. I've never once been burned. Always charge full price up front. No deposits here, full price. And I was like, you know what? This is a new group. This is a new people. I don't have the reputation, so I'm going to just take orders and I'm going to print them and then hit them up when they're ready. And I gave everyone the time frame and the total, and they agreed to the total. And sure enough, I spent all week painting, and because these things take time, printing and cleaning and priming and painting and touch ups
Yeah.
and QC and
Man, in between the Estrella
boy,
skulls, you must be really busy.
no, it's not just that. You wouldn't believe how much Merlin keeps piling up. And then now I found out X Files is on Hulu. I don't think anything's gonna get done. And Dean, I was let down. I felt my heart crack. Dean, 3 of 6 ghosted
You.
me. I know. I would say one person wrote back almost immediately, and I could tell they were on the fence. And
Was it me? Was
event
it me? I don't even know.
it could have been you actually, because you guys all said you wanted some, and I never heard anything. At any rate, but no, you didn't officially commit to it. But
Okay, that's good. I was like, shit, did I
yeah,
officially
so-
commit?
How was the
Yeah,
guy
well,
on the
you too.
fence after you told him what the cost was? And
well, because after I announced my product, a bunch of people were like, "Oh, I want to do those too." And admittedly, like there's different tiers to this kind of thing, right? Mine was like the Honda Civic, right? Other people had like the Tesla Ferrari version, which is totally fine.
sure.
But let me know that day, because everyone announced theirs pretty much the same day. I was like, "Fuck, did I open the floodgates?" Don't tell me when your product is done. Like, if you tell me, within a few hours, a day, it's likely not a lot has gotten done. No problem, right? And so, I was hurt, Dean. I was hurt because I take a lot of pride in the things that I make, and like these, I was really proud of. Like, got beautiful coat of paint on there, real beautiful brown, some dry brushing, some washing,
Yeah.
and yeah, I got burned for 3 orders, and it was like not an insignificant amount of money. I was like, wow. So shout out to those people that did pay for their order. I threw in some freebies to those orders, and yeah,
Like
I will say this: any order I get from now on, my fingers not touching the ball of resin until I got money in hand. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm feeling about this right now.
Yeah.
And it
Well,
hurts, Dean. It hurts.
does.
It hurts. Breaks my heart.
It,
To
it
be so
breaks my
trusting,
heart.
Dean.
I,
To
I
be
was
so
gonna
trusting.
say because you're a genuine guy. You're the genuine article. We
I'll tell you how
butt heads a
genuine I
lot.
am. I
Well,
fucked up.
I don't think genuine people tell you how genuine they are. I think you.
That's
let
how
others-
genuine I am. Only I can tell. You know what I'm saying? Anyone else, it would be superfluous. It would be too much.
Genuine, not modest, guy.
I'm over here on
I didn't say I
currency
was
converter waiting to get called out.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I haven't shipped yours yet. I do need
No,
to ship
I've-
it though.
I,
had to
I
print-
actually am going to send
What's-
you the whole amount rather than doing it separately.
Oh, I was fine
I
with
missed
that.
it.
No, this is not about you, by the way. I had to reprint one of yours because I was not happy with how it looked. So I printed one of your shawarmas was not up to ZW standards.
Well, I
But
realized
yes.
the cost. Why do it in 2 transfers? I'm going to get hit with 2 PayPal fees, so why not just do it in one?
Yeah, send friends and family too, because we're friends.
Oh, of course, of course.
Zach,
Of course.
if it saves you some dead stock, I'll buy one off you. I wasn't going to commit to one, but if
No,
if
no,
you
no,
got
no.
some
It's
extra
not.
stock,
No,
then
no,
I'd
no.
be-
That's not.
I'd
So
be
this
happy
was
to
not
get a
about
60
Ben
or shawarma
Thomas.
in-
Don't be a
I know, but I'm just saying.
Actually,
I don't
hang
mind
on.
helping out a little bit,
I
helping the
do
cause.
want to send you a shawarma through Badfish. One for you and one for a giveaway for your channel. Because several channels have reached out to work with me on these things. So for Marco as well. God rest his soul, because he's not even here. Don't know where he could
I
be.
need a bucket of nuts as well.
Yeah,
If
what
you
the
can
hell?
print
I
a
thought
bucket of
Ben
nuts,
was
that'd
gonna
help.
miss tonight, and
Ben rallied like it's
Mark-
not even rallied like Bane. It's rallied like
You don't
Ben,
even
bro.
understand. I had such bad food poisoning the last 3 days that I'm like, I feel like a wisp of my former self. I haven't even like showered. This is raw Ben that you guys are
Jess
seeing right
warmed
now.
over.
So
Damn, bro. Raw
What
dog.
what'd
man.
you eat? That was.
I don't know. I
shawarmas?
don't know what it was.
He ate
I
gluten.
honestly think it might. The funny thing is, I actually think it might have been shawarma.
Wow.
Oh no.
Not gonna lie, but yeah, no, it's just I've been horrible for the last few days. So I am here. If I happen
this
to leave
shawarma.
quite a few times, it's water and love in the bathroom. So
Look at this. Look at this.
oh, for sure for you guys.
Get it well done next
Handful of
time.
shawarma. Look at that. Not
See, I
pretty
can't even
brain
have
out.
my shawarma like that. I have to eat it on salad because I'm celiac. I can't eat bread.
Oh yeah.
I'm not
like
gonna
a
make that
bowl
version
kinda.
of the shawarma. That wouldn't sell.
Nobody,
Anyways,
nobody wants a
Besides
bowl
that,
of shawarma.
anyways, I'm fed up with that part of the community, not our community. That would never happen in this community. But
I just thought you
being a
meant the
broke-
collecting community, because it's like I've been let down a bunch of times by the collecting community.
Not me, bro. That's because I
I've
see the grass is green on all sides.
I've
for
asked
me.
Dean to make me a few nut designs over the last couple months, and I've thought about ghosting him a couple times, but then I realized I have to see him every single
Wow.
Tuesday, and there's no escape. So like, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
You're a bad person.
I love you.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there. We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
He's got a billion toys.
You brought in the doll collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
Should we lock in the artillery power?
This is the true form of floor gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collectingweekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Ben.
I'm Badfish.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right, Jumbo, everyone watching, whether you're live in the YouTube studio audience or Facebook, right? We're live there. Whether you're catching us on the replay. Oh, and Twitch. I forgot we're live on Twitch. Catching us on
No
the
one watches
replay
Twitch.
on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the other plays, SoundCloud. Thank you for wherever you're watching us. We love you.
Dean's
Wow.
OnlyFans.
Shout out to Only Dreams is what we call it. Shout out to our friends over at Collector Zone as well. We don't honestly. This is gonna be. I feel like we're gonna phone this one in today. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys.
I'm
Everybody
not
needs a
phoning in for you
everybody
guys.
needs a record short show. I'm okay with
I had
it.
a bad day today.
Maximum
On top
effort.
of having my heart broken by the community, just
What happened to
Just-
your day?
just started off bad, Dean. So I woke up this morning, right? And Dean, when you're an international star, for many reasons, right? You get emails all over the world for all kinds of things. And Dean, we're something of a celebrity in the NCAA community. Number one team on Team Builder, the team that we built live on this channel, the Bumblebees. And because of that, people will search the username like, oh, this shit's fire. Actually, my brother-in-law unintentionally downloaded it and said it was fire. And we're talking about it, I was like, that's my team. That's the team me and my friend made.
Nice.
Anyways, so
Thank you for including me.
this one guy on Reddit messaged me and he was like, hey, just a heads up, one of your teams has an issue. And it was my Flamingos, the team that I'm like enthralled with. And I'm like, that's odd. I've been playing with them in Dynasty, and I didn't notice anything. I was like, let me double check. And I pull up my app, and sure enough, I had an issue with one of the logos. It was backwards. And I was like, fuck, how did I not notice it? Like, subliminally, I could tell something was wrong, but I couldn't figure it out.
Put your finger on it, yeah.
I was like, something doesn't look right. One of the wings was flipped on the shoulder. Anyways, so I went to fix it. I fixed it 1 second fix, and I saved it. And then when I went to go to my PlayStation to re-download it, sometimes when you re-download the same design, it kind of messes up. So I went to delete the.
Oh no!
Hang on. Here we go.
That sounds already.
Here we
like
go.
Marco, good to see you, pal.
We got Marco here.
What's up, Marco?
I went to delete the design, and it used to be an option to unshare it so I could work on it, like if I didn't have time. Somehow they changed that to delete, and in my mind, I didn't see the delete until after I clicked it, and it deleted it from the PlayStation. So I was like, oh, okay. I'll just re-download it. But it actually deleted it. It was as if I went on the website and deleted it from Team Builder.
Oh my god.
And so I was like, God damn it. So I went to work late and I remade the team. And then when I went to submit it, it gave me the error that it gave me when I remade Fern's team. So I had to remake it a third time. And it was just, by that point, I was like, you know what? We're done with this custom dynasty crap. We're all going to use real teams. I was so angry. All because I'm trying to help out some random person on the internet. And then on top of that...
Help out yourself. He was just pointing out.
No. I know. It was my fault.
Don't blame that guy.
And then just a number of things. A number of things. Speaking of things that we don't talk about on the show, The Stranger. Yeah, we got some Acolyte news, so we'll talk about that. I don't know if you guys know. I really don't talk about it enough. I'm actually working on a 1/6 The Stranger custom.
How have you
It's
not
almost
finished
done.
It?
Well, because
It's
I'm
just
waiting
a
on
guy
people to
in
finish.
A robe and a helmet.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Most guys are in robes. You know what I'm saying? And
most guys are in robes. That might be the only Stranger figure that gets made in 1/6. So that's a
possibly
very rare item.
Possibly. I'm waiting for the Philippines customizer to finish. Anyways, so
emphasis on peens.
Yeah, it was a rough day. Anyways, so it was a bad day because of that. And then the thing that pisses me off. Hang on, we're gonna rant. This is mini after.
Is that the guy in the back who just has underwear on in the back right now?
Yes. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's right there.
I was gonna ask that on the
He's
unboxing,
right there.
but yeah.
Look at that. He's right there. Yeah, Fern was nice enough to give me underwear for the figure. And then the thing that upsets me, it really pisses me off. But I feel like when anyone needs anything from me, I gotta fucking drop everything that I'm doing and do it. And then when I need something for somebody else, none of you guys, by the way, this is just in my personal life.
No, this applies
God forbid.
to us too.
God forbid. It's like fucking. Oh well, I'm busy. I'll call you later. I'm doing this right now. I can't
Marco,
do
get
that
the
right.
pictures in there.
Pisses me off. Like to the nth degree. That's been my problem lately with life. Anyways, Dean, enough about my problems. We'll talk about more of those tomorrow. We have a very special segment that we start off all of our best shows after a mini rant.
Yeah, you guys ready?
Yes.
It's new this week.
Okay. Yeah.
How much time do you guys have?
What you got news? I'm sorry.
I got more in the chamber if we need
I read a funny comment.
What comment? Highlighted.
Here we are.
I've read all these comments. None of them are that funny.
This one, Team seems more chill on his own channel compared to when he's on with Willie.
Dude, that's what I call a corporate Dean when he's on that other channel. Corporate Dean. I actually am working on a package for your
friends
channel mate. I don't know what you guys are.
Co-daddies?
I
feel like you cheat on me every time you go on
I
there.
just guest star on his channel.
Yeah, you're
we're just friends. I'm not a co-member.
Yeah,
he's got the same arrangement I do on CW. Hey, show up, give us a lot of your time, but you get nothing in return.
Yeah.
Okay, first off, I was gonna send you some stuff for free. First off, and I give you.
I'm kidding. I do it for the love of the game, baby. For the love of the game.
Cam collects. I got a big shout out for Cam at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that.
All right,
that's my problem, X-Man. I can't say no to people. I'm a people pleaser.
That's why I said Zach is one of the people.
I think if you are ever in a position where you can help people, I think you should. And I think I care too much, you know. If I go to a job interview, they say, "What's your biggest flaw?" I care too much, I think, is my biggest flaw. Yeah. I love too hard, Dean. I love too hard.
You love too hard. You wear your heart on your sleeve. You fucking pop that thing wide open for anyone who comes and
pop that thing. Wow.
Yeah, Dean. Apparently, I don't talk about this enough. The chat is unaware that I'm making a stranger figure. They might be hearing this for the first time, I think. Speaking of things for the first time, what did you get this week?
Yeah, so I got a bunch of cool stuff. I also just got these in the mail, literally like an hour ago, Zach. So don't get mad.
Yeah, it only takes 10 seconds to take a photo, but
you said to end the sheet, so I was respecting you. These are parts for Mythic Legions. I got a cape and a skirt.
Is that from eBay?
Yeah.
Send me that guy's username if you like them. Send me his username because I've been.
Yeah, this stuff is really nice. Zach, you and I have ordered clothing on eBay before, and it's very hit or miss. This stuff is very nice. So Death and Plastic, shout them out.
Wow.
And then the rest of my new this week was actually just a bunch of like fantasy Mythic Legion 6-inch figures. So I got the Bronze Dwarf. I got him for a custom I want to do later with Stolas, our character in D&D, my sister's character, rather.
My favorite character.
1, he came with antlers. 2, he's on a shorter body. And 3, he had an all-gold sword, which I needed for my Guinevere figure. There it is.
Wow. Look at her. Oh, yeah. I like the way you have it in that little thing there.
Her little
scabbard.
Well, it's not really a scabbard, but...
Yeah, and then, I don't know if you can see this. It came with the figure I got for our Ozol with the little pouches on her belt.
Oh, yeah. Samir?
Those are crazy.
Yeah, so also shout out to Zach. I used the 2-part epoxy sculpt putty for.
I actually need to bum some of that off of you if you have.
a
bunch.
I literally have where to go.
Look, okay. Actually, next time we hang out,
I thought that was a bottle of urine.
Is your urine that yellow or purple? Badfish, please see a doctor.
All that Dorito, what I was saying. Didn't say it was not.
All that Dorito, bro.
Yeah, Jazz Inc. actually sells
maybe all the
too.
sweet tea.
Wow, how dare you?
And then
it's got that cool ranch, bro.
To stand in for Zothas until I could get a better head sculpt, I picked up this Hasbro. I don't know what the fuck his name is, but it's a D&D figure of an elf guy.
I want that.
Dritz, yeah. There's 2 Dritz figures. I picked up 2. I picked up this one and the later version, but this one is so much better. It's like not even close.
What's the name?
Dritz.
TR. I don't like that one bit.
It's like DRIZZ. It's I think. Yeah. I actually, funny enough,
the hell?
It's like DRIZZT or something.
I like the way you say.
I have to double check it. ZZ.
He's Canadian. He says authentic.
Oh yeah.
Actually, ever since Pete said that one time, it tickled this part of my brain. I didn't know needed to be tickled, and I say Z all the time now. It just feels good.
But real quick.
Actually, yes. I used to have a sticky note on my monitor, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Wait, what sticky note?
DAY-TA. I always forget.
Oh no.
There's words that I just don't know how to say, like Darth Maul and Palpatine. I always get those wrong. Or like worse and worse.
Palpatine?
I can't. Is that how you say it, right? Palpatine.
No, it's Palpatine.
Okay, yeah. So my note for this
sounds like he's made of orange juice.
Make me big fan real quick.
His first name is Paul and his last name is Patine.
I need like one of those quarterback wrist things, but it's just words that I can't say.
No. Yeah, worse, and what is it? You always
worst.
get it mixed up. Yeah, worse and worse.
They do need a third-party emperor called Paul Patine, though. 100%.
Okay, man, come on.
They do. You guys are
right. You also got.
Yeah, I also picked up this. She's just like I just needed like an elf or like a druid for the display. I think she's from Magic the Gathering. But it's the figure. I don't know. I picked up at Buddy's, but she was like $15. I just picked it up.
God damn, $55.
No, 15.
No, for Drizzt.
Oh, Drizzt? Yeah, he was like $15 too.
He's got a dog too, or some type of something. I don't know.
What I didn't get the dog, but I only paid $15. And then I picked up the Mythic Legions Templar. There's like fucking 15 of these guys. I don't know which Templar it is, but it was fucking sweet. I found.
Is that the one with the dark complected sculpt?
There is no sculpt with these guys.
Okay. There's one I have in pre-order. He's dark complected, and it looks fucking dope.
Oh, that's from the figures that aren't out yet. This is old. This is probably
I
think,
see.
like Wave 1.
That's probably like a Legion
2.
builder.
Yeah.
So they don't usually have as many accessories. Yeah, make me big screen real quick, Zach. This is one of the. I'll focus on these on small talk. I'll add them as my new this week. But
why is my
I
mouse
got
not working?
pretty much the same dwarf. It's got a lot of the same parts as Dean's, but a bit different. It's got a big beard and a different color, like skirt here.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm not done with mine new this week. What are we doing?
Oh, I thought you were done that one.
No.
This is still
Holy
a Hot
shit.
Toys podcast, right? Am I in the right place?
Yeah, it also
Anyways,
starts at
about-
8:30.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, about the new shed that I built.
I love you, Marco.
Yeah, and then I got one more new this week. Zach was nice enough to pick this up for me.
Wow.
The Joker and Punchline 2-pack from the
Just can't say no.
DC Multiverse line. I had this on pre-order at BBTS, and I was just waiting for it to come in stock. And Zach called me one day, like 2 weeks ago. He was like, "Hey, do you need this?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, pick it up for me." I don't need it technically, but I'll get it early. So I just canceled my BBTS order. So if you're looking for one, there might be one popping up there.
Oh wow, you canceled it, and it was sold out too, right?
Yeah, it had sold out like the same day, I think.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, shout out to Zach for getting me that. That was really nice of you. I kind of don't want to open it. I kind of want to just leave it. As much as I want to take the Punchline out, I kind of feel like they're just gonna release it again in like a single pack, and I'll just get that one and open it because this is like the first one, and I have all her firsts. You know,
Dean was
case,
her first.
So, God, I wish.
That's a good call, though, Dean. Actually.
So, yeah, this is cool. So thank you, Zach. That was my new this week.
Wow. Love it.
You may proceed,
Love
Bad Fish.
it.
Oh.
Yeah, Bad Fish. What the hell?
I'm just gonna
is that?
stay
Marco,
on
you have a
mute.
box as well, right?
Just trying to
I do.
contribute.
Yeah, my Multiverse of Madness Scarlet Witch finally came from Pop Culture. A lot of people already have her, but I was very excited to get this figure. She was one of my highly anticipated. I saw this film with my mom last year and had a great experience with her. And then, of course, you know, that's just how nostalgia collectors operate sometimes. I'm like, okay, now I want a piece of that memory. And so I got the Doctor Strange already in the collection, and he needed his companion. And she looks fantastic here. Now, with the white light box, you can't see the clear pole kind of above her that's holding her up. My complaint with this pose specifically that I got her in on the left is that she did tilt forward a little bit in it. It's not actually like a strong enough clamp to hold her physical weight very well in this position for long. So that was a bit of a shitty thing to find out. But otherwise, likeness-wise, she's stunning. So I'm working on a review right now. I'm going to probably post that out tonight or tomorrow at some point. So keep an eye out for it on the Ben Thomas Show. But yeah, I was very, very excited to get this in. So
Very cool. Very cool. Marco, what did you get this week?
Yeah, so I've got a few boxes over here that are piling up like Merlin, but I got King the Conqueror in here, so still haven't opened it yet. But this is one that I'm really excited to check out because this is holy shit. But yeah, I think this is gonna go well with my villains. But obviously, this guy, he's probably no more. Probably the last time we saw him in the MCU was during Loki. So yeah, a cool one to add. But if I was really being disciplined, Ben, this one probably wouldn't be in the collection. But I'm happy to have it nonetheless, and hoping that I never wanted to be that guy that had boxes like, oh, I still need to open. When people would say that, I'm like, all right, just open your shit. But that's where I'm at right now. So you either die the hero, right?
Busy time of year.
So
yeah,
but yeah,
I'll be excited to hear what you think about it, though. To be honest, it might even be a fun one for Gigi to open with you and see what she thinks about it firsthand impressions.
it's a good point, Ben.
cool.
It's a really good point.
You're mute.
Oh, Bad Fish.
Why am I on big screen?
Party
You
foul.
said you were showing us what
You're
you
a big
had.
star.
Oh no, I already showed
Big
it.
fish.
That was just the one, the
Jesus.
bronze or the
Bad
dwarf.
fish.
Right now, yeah. I'll show them more later, but yeah,
It's
I
not
got
a
the
Dorito,
Legion Builder
thankfully.
version.
No new
basically.
Frito-Lay paraphernalia? Or?
No, just Dwight Schrute today.
Oh, that's actually pretty dope. I got Badfish. You're gonna be so excited to hear this. I now own. Why do I keep pressing that fucking button?
I hate this.
I now own 5 Hot Toys, baby. Just kidding. I think I have like 6 now. Boy, I got.
You're not
Hot
counting
Toys...
the one on the left, are you?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on that shelf alone. Thank you very much. I am a true collector. I might have the most Hot Toys out of anyone in the world.
You're one of the collectors.
Wait,
I'm one of the collectors of all. I think it's probably about 12 now, boys. The memes are done. I've crushed the memes.
One of the collectors.
Getting kind of out of control now. Damn.
Yeah. Well, who is this guy? So I picked up the Hot Toys Black Suit Special Edition, right? Because when you're an international star, you got to get the Special Edition by Hot Toys. And boy, what a figure! I actually am so glad that I don't display this in Dutov, because I actually physically don't think this thing would fit with the claws. It is massive, like the amount of square footage it will take up, at full tilt. Really cool figure. I actually didn't think I was going to display the special edition portrait, but I kind of like that splash of red in an otherwise pretty boring color palette. So really cool figure. Really glad that I was able to pick that up. If you need a stand for your Spider-Man, Zach's Wonderland on Instagram, or send me a message here, and we'll take care of you. But yeah, really excited for that, and the stands worked out great. I also picked up from Rick Sollers, Dean. Let's see, Thunder Toys, the or Alien Host, I think is what it's called, but it's the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 Venom, and honestly, not a Hot Toys quality figure, but it's pretty damn close. It's a pretty fantastic figure. The sculpt has like these little like resin clear drips of
like saliva.
Saliva, yeah, could be. And honestly, I didn't think I would like it that much, but the Topher Grace unmasked portrait, or like unsymbioted portrait, is really fantastic. So yeah, and this figure is very expensive on the secondary market, and I got it for, I think, below retail. So really happy to have that. Nice. And yeah, it was kind of one of those things. He's like, hey, I've had this figure for a while, just need to get rid of it. And I was like, dude, this thing is sold out everywhere.
What's the flexibility like for the black suit one in your opinion?
For which one? Sorry.
For the black suit Spider-Man, the Hot Toys one.
I would say it's okay. I still feel a bit not super comfortable. It's a very yeah, first off, it has like a sticky texture, and Mike said after about a week his that stickiness went away. So it might just need to air out or something, and it stunk really bad overnight. Thankfully I have an air purifier in here. But it's one of those that I feel like the suit would stick to itself, and then also I'm waiting for others to really push it to see if it's one of those suits that like heals itself, which I was kind of roll my eyes about, but apparently that's a thing. But it's a cool figure. I do wish that the stand was a bit taller, especially they do make the like the die-cast Iron Mans that are a little bit longer, and because of the way we mount it with the 3D printed adapters, it is a little bit lower than, if you were using the clamps. But honestly, even if it was taller, these claws are just like, I mean, they're probably like add an extra foot, like if you were to stick them up straight up and down, probably about an extra foot and change to the figure. It's a really like a wide figure. So, and I honestly wasn't planning on using these claws at all, but once I saw like the shelf presence, I was like, dude, this has got to be the way to
They're
display
massive,
it.
bro. They're so big.
Do you have this figure?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, you had it like new this week, last week. Big fan.
Yeah. Wow.
So you said you don't like the palette.
I was paying attention for you, Marco.
Appreciate you, man.
You said you don't like the color palette on this. What makes you not like this one, but do like the one like the Hono?
No.
The classic symbiote.
Well, so the classic symbiote has that like baby blue on the bottom. So I'm saying if this didn't have that red, it doesn't really have anything to break up like the well, actually maybe the Hono doesn't have
what about
the
the big silver arms?
So I'm just wondering, like, because the classic symbiote is kind of the same.
Well, black to me.
without the
So I
red,
went to
right?
Clark High School, and so black and silver is like kind of just boring to me. It's like the bare minimum color palette. So you
Don't
have that
you dare.
splash of
Don't you
red.
dare.
It looks fantastic. I mean, some people.
I
there's
agree
Raiders
with you.
fans.
I'm just curious.
What about the Spurs?
Yeah. I
Because
thought
you love
the-
like the classic.
Okay, the
symbiote.
first off, we have the classic. What is
Yeah,
it?
we
The,
have it, but that's not
Fiesta.
what they use. Like,
Yeah, but the Spurs, I'm used to them being boring, right? Like, fucking Tim. When you win 4-5 championships, you could be boring. All right.
It is on brand for them to be boring for sure.
Yeah, they're the most boring team. They just fucking go out
that
there.
was the
they
most
fucking,
emotion we ever got out of Tim Duncan. I don't know if you've seen that gif. I love that gif.
Wait, does the
Man,
Hono
Kawhi
have the blue
speaks up.
feet? I remember I was gonna do that, and I
No,
don't think
you
it
were
does.
I
gonna
don't
do
think
it,
it
but the
does.
Hono doesn't have it.
Maybe that's why I was like, it needs that blue. Yeah, okay, so maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So, clip that. Anyways,
Happy Badfish? Are you happy you made?
I was
Yeah,
just
bad
curious
fish.
because
Fucking
you love
idiot.
the classic symbiote, but
okay,
this-
okay, the classic symbiote in the comics does have that blue. Is what I'm saying. The blue on the
Yeah.
feet.
that's fair.
Yeah.
And also a different body shape and what. But yeah, the
Fucking
red
hell.
definitely is nice.
And he also does this. This one doesn't have that. It
How-
does
you-
this.
You found the second thwip hand, right? You said there was too.
Yeah, so it was not the second thwip. Some fucking genius at Hot Toys. Look at this. Look at this shit. Why the fuck are you giving me two hands that are like 90 fucking % the same? All right, you give me 6 fucking hands. Fucking 2 of them look exactly identical. You could maybe, I don't know, change it up a little bit, perhaps. Yeah. I've had a bad day, boys. Anyways, it was a really fun unboxing though. Last night, and Mike was on. It was really cool.
It was a good one, yeah.
Zach is dead to me, silver and black for life. I didn't know that Mike was a Raiders fan. Interesting. Yeah, Tim Duncan laughed on the bench. Yeah. Myron, even better, don't get a crotch grabber, get a Zach's Wonderland stand adapter. You don't have to worry about nothing. Let's get into some news. Actually, is everyone good? Everyone got their figure news this week's? Let's get into some news this week. We have Kidpool.
Did you do that
Are
on
you okay?
purpose?
What?
News this week.
I do everything on purpose, Dean. This shit doesn't happen by accident. Let's see. It's so complex, Dean. I don't know why this light needs Wi-Fi. Right before the show, the Wi-Fi and the light wasn't working. How does that even happen?
Oh, I used to have a light like that.
I'm pain in my fucking
Hated
ass.
it.
Are you
Yeah.
derailing the show again for more shit that you own?
I'm sorry. Hang on. I think we all know what's. I think we all know what
Stephen
I thought you
A.
were talking to Zach. You saw
Yeah, I was like, you're talking to me.
This is my show. I do what the hell I want on my show.
No, Zach's talking about his light and
my
bad pictures.
gosh.
I have
You
a
gotta-
light like that.
You gotta play the abused clip
I'm
right
doing
now.
my
Jeez.
news this week, and you're showing up your news this week. Like, what the hell?
There we go. Where is? I don't even know where that clip.
Each time when I come here, I am abused.
All right, I think we all need to take a step back, take a deep breath. We're gonna have a good show.
Wusa.
We're just gonna play. We're just gonna play one clip. Just kick us off.
I know what it is.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
All right, Hot Toys Kidpool. This one is $240, releasing July to December 2025. I'm so fucking sick of this movie. Oh my god. I was in Subway. I had a terrible day. And I was like, you know what? The only thing that will make me happy right now is go to Subway, watch a little X-Files, I'm sitting there enjoying my Subway, and that
Is it
fucking
possible to enjoy Subway? Anyways, go ahead.
I believe so.
You're
if
$12
you have-
foot long.
First off, it was $13.85 because I got a large.
At least
tea.
you guys don't have to eat the gluten-free Subway. That's
Thank
worse.
God, yes.
That's disgusting.
In
Anyways,
Canada, no less.
and I finally fucking escaped the Deadpool. I escaped the Hot Toys news. I escaped, the 100 TikToks. And I am guilty of those as well. The 50 different guys selling parts, myself included. I was like, I finally escaped this whole thing, and I'm just gonna enjoy X-Files. And then fucking Like a Prayer comes on over the fucking speakers. I was like, dude, fuck this movie. Anyways, I I think this figure is cool. I think the water guns are cool. I think that the expressions are cool. I just don't, and I actually really like that it comes with the couch. I just don't like this here is cool, but this is all like
make believe.
You're just make believe, right? Like none of these characters like each other. At least half of them don't. And it's never really clearly established. At least two of these characters might be related, but the Kidpool, I don't know if he's supposed to be Lady Pool's other kid. I don't really know how the canon works. And then Headpool's in this photo. I don't know. And also that couch is really small. If you really think about it, like it's
a love seat. Dean and I know.
I don't know. I don't like it. I get it, right? Because a full couch would be too big, but I think they're kind of hiding some crimes here with this photography. And I just don't like, again, I'm not the one that's going to buy all this stuff, but I mean, are there really, well, first off, what pisses me off is Lady Pool's already released and fucking people are still waiting on Kenobi, by Hot Toys from the Kenobi show. But are there people that are really going to spend like what, 250, 300, like what was that, like 850 for this? Like I don't, and the fact that there's still gonna be, you know, potentially there could be like 10 more Deadpools. Like I guess I just don't know that, like, is this gonna be that popular? I'm curious if you guys think it is or if the chat thinks it is as well. I think it's a cool figure, don't get me wrong. I just think that, like, I think this is the best way to say it. Sable says, spending over $1,000 to collect another man's family in 1/6 is crazy to me. It's like,
I've done it in Star Wars.
Yeah, that's a fake family, though. Not, you're not fucking
you
by
mean like
Mark
real
Hamill's
family?
daughter, you know, in
Yeah.
1/6 scale.
Sure.
Not buying fucking Lord, Billy Lord, right? Just because she's in fucking Star Wars. I just don't understand it. And I do think that there are cool things, right? Like the translucent water gun, amazing. I think that's super cool. I also didn't even notice that during the film, which is hilarious. But I just think it's almost getting to be a bit too silly. And I guess, you know, maybe that's what you need in your collection, but to me this very much feels, as Marco would say, it would be like a bargain bin. Like, you know, I think there are people that are going to buy it because of the couch or buy the couch parted out. I just don't, you know, it's not for me.
Yeah, not for full retail. I think the best part of this figure is probably the water gun, followed by the expressions. That's about it. I feel like they could have slimmed down Deadpool, gotten rid of the baby with Deadpool, and put it in this, and then put like another Doc Pool in here with like a different pose or something to help kind of justify what you're really buying. Because at the end of the day, it's almost $300 for a kid-size figure that really only had maybe 8 seconds of screen time. Yeah, for me, it's definitely not a full retail kind of buy. Even if I had the inkling that this figure was going to be worth, you know, $500, you know, in 2 years, I still wouldn't want to buy it today. Like, I wouldn't want to own it in 2 years. Like, I don't think anything could change my mind to make me want to own this. So, I don't know. It seems weird, but at least they're doing something different, right? Have we ever seen Hot Toys do like a kid before?
Bro, it's the 8th Deadpool. We don't need to see any more Deadpool.
Well, it's Deadpool,
Right.
but it's a kid.
Yeah, it's still
It's like a
Deadpool.
small figure.
Well, they've got the female
I think
Ahsoka,
so.
the teenage
How do
Ahsoka.
raccoon ears
Probably
work?
similar size.
Teenage Ahsoka's not this small. Teenage
More of a
Ahsoka's
girly
about
figure.
the same size as a regular.
Like a Jawa size.
Oh, yeah, I guess she is a teenager, but
R2D2.
Yeah, okay.
Kenny Baker was a kid. Or Wicket. Wicket was a kid.
Okay, yeah, we've seen Wicked. That's kind of kid size
Yeah.
and fully
Yeah.
articulated figure. That's a good callback.
Yeah.
But
Or like the big chap who's just born an alien.
Well,
kid at heart, maybe.
Kid at 8 hearts.
There.
I don't think he ate anything. I don't think he was eating.
No, 8 isn't the number. Because he's an alien.
They have 8 hearts?
I don't know, but he's an alien. I doubt he's got one.
I don't think we ever know.
So to kind of continue to pile on this figure, and this figure doesn't offend me at all. I think it's cool that it comes with the couch. It's cool that you get like a variant of Deadpool like this. It's so different. But it is pretty boring. I think similar to what I was saying with Rocket and with Cosmo last week, where it's like, it kind of feels like an accessory to, okay, if you're going to pair it with other figures you're already planning to get. Now, $250 and I think $275 respectively. It's all just a lot of money to pay for accessories, but that's what this hobby will do to you. But I just think that this line overall has been pretty lackluster. And maybe that's just a product of me, because I'm trying to think about what other figures may be coming, what other variants, what other versions of characters may be coming. And I can't really, minus a few Wolverine variants that I want, I can't think of too many more. But you kind of think that Wolverine, the Hugh Jackman Wolverine that they announced, incredible. Like that release, I was like, oh, I want 2 of those, over the moon. And then the Deadpool was okay, kind of missing some key accessories, right? Like, thank God for Zach's Wonderland. But yeah, you'd kind of want that Deadpool to come with more stuff. But it's a cool figure, and people are loving it that got it early. And then the TVA Wolverine, pretty lackluster. Female Deadpool, what's her name? Sheeple? Herpool.
Ladypool?
Daypool. Ladypool. That wasn't a joke. I just really couldn't think of it. That one's pretty lackluster too in my eyes.
Herples.
Holy cow. I don't know what any of that means. And then you add this one onto the line. It's like, Zach, you said, like, the hype for the movie's fading. The line's kind of fading. And it feels like, if they were going to strike with better figures, the time would have been a few weeks ago. And now it's kind of like, the hype's not really there anymore. So only for the hardcore folks. And it just doesn't, it's just not moving the needle much. So, it's fine. It's passable, but just not exciting. What do you think, Badfish?
Yeah. So sorry. The price on this was how much? Did you say 270, Dean?
I believe I said 240.
Oh, it's 240. I thought Dean said.
I think I may have said 250,
but still.
Yeah, I think I said close to 3.
I see what you're saying, though. It's
240
up there.
after tax and shipping.
Yeah, for sure.
So like 400 for us, Badfish. Hate to see it.
Yeah, especially for on the Canadian side. But I think I think this is someone's been waiting to build this crazy Deadpool display. As I think, just think of like Spider-Man. Some people have like how many Spider-Man on the shelves. Like Mike was saying, he doesn't even consider himself a Spider-Man collector last night. It was on the unboxing, and he's got a shelf with, I think he said 4 or 5 on there alone. So that kind of gives you an idea. Now, I do agree it is a little boring because, I mean, it's another Deadpool figure that's like red and black. So it's kind of boring, but I'm also happy because my wallet's safe from all these releases. I actually kind of hope they make a few more figures from this so that they leave Star Wars alone for a little bit, because man, they just went crazy this year so far. But I think I still think it's pretty cool. I just think the price is a little up there, but I'm actually kind of on the opposite end. I think this is kind of a cool addition, but maybe once I see the movie, we're gonna watch it Sunday, but we were just too tired. But maybe my opinion would change once I see the movie, that there could be some other things that they could have done from this movie, like Marco was saying.
Interesting. One Adam 12th says, I do want this, but $25 to $50 gets you a 1/6 couch on eBay. $240 is a tough one. Some would say a tough nut to swallow. I've got a couple of theories on this. So I think in order for Hot Toys to have been able to give, the Ladypool and the Deadpool pretty much at release of the film, they clearly needed to go off conceptual drawings and like concepts for what the film might be before I think it actually came to fruition. I think it's part of the reason that some of the accessories for Deadpool don't totally make sense, because I think likely the studio or the licensee was able to say there's a head pool, there's a baby pool, there's a kid pool, there's a lady pool, there's a dead pool. There you go, make some cool shit with that information. Kind of like they did with that Spider-Man suit from No Way Home, where like that inside out suit, but once you saw it in the actual film, it wasn't like it wasn't the right accuracy at all. Clearly, they'd gone more off a like concept drawing than the actual movie. Because I think this line would have been more impactful if we had seen like the Wolverine claws and some of the other accessories with Deadpool. It would have made more sense if we'd actually seen like Blade or Gambit or some of the other like side characters that were in the film that actually helped Deadpool along his journey and plot. Whereas these characters were such a small segment of the film that even though I think that they're cool as figures, they don't have that same like nostalgic punch in the chest for me as part of the film as me pairing him with Wolverine or, as I said, a Gambit or Blade or even Elektra. Like some of those were really cool cameos, and I would have liked to see in a display. We just didn't get that here. As far as the figure goes, I do think it's just a little on the pricey side. I think that's my only criticism, because otherwise I don't think it's a boring release. I think you guys are crazy. I think maybe we're getting a little Deadpool blind, but I think the tailoring looks really good. The outfit, the sewing, the stitching, all looks really good. The expressions are fantastic. The guns, wild. And the couch, while it is kind of on the small side for a love seat, I think it's kind of cool. I agree you can find one on eBay, and I've looked for like things that are similar, but they look like IKEA couches. They don't look like something that could come from the Deadpool universe. Now, would I have rather see this couch come with his little old blind lady dead? I can't remember what her name is. That would have been fun. That would have been so fun to see as like a lady with this like, what's her name? I can't remember what her name is now. You guys tell me in the chat. Al, yeah, Blind Al.
Wow.
Can you imagine if Blind Al came with the couch? Sorry, I didn't hear you. That would have been awesome. That would have been awesome. So it's not that I think that these are boring figures by any stretch. It's just that if we'd even seen them collectively work together, I think that could have been a cooler display. But because they were pitted against each other, but for such a small portion of the film, it doesn't hit the same way. Unless, I guess, you want to really truly support the Reynolds family, because it does sound like these were actually his kids, and Blake Lively being Lady Pool or her Pool or them Pool, whatever you want to say. If you want to support the Reynolds family, I think that's a cool way to do it. But otherwise, this is a pass for me, even though I think it's cool.
Ben, Ryan Reynolds is a billionaire. I don't need to support the Reynolds family.
Holy cow! Yeah, it should be supporting us. But yeah, it's just I think it's the fact that it's all these masked figures. And again, we got that incredible Hugh Jackman sculpt, and then nothing really since, right, for this line. And so it's just like, all right, give us those cameos, or be done with this line. I can't really tell what direction they're going in, but yeah, definitely doesn't instill a lot of confidence that this is, the fifth figure now from this line, or fourth. It's just not too exciting.
That's fair. Charlie the Unicorn asked if I was getting the naked Wolverine. I am not. I'm gonna get the full suited Wolverine instead, the deluxe version. I like that look more. Although, not to give too much more away to Badfish, because I apologize since you haven't seen it, Badfish. I'm just spoiling the whole thing for you.
I was like listening to some of the parts of it.
That's pretty much everybody. Let's be honest, but. I would say that like the naked Wolverine is actually a more impactful scene in the film than the fully suited up version of Wolverine. So I could see the appeal for both, except that I do think that figure should have come with the cowl. The fact that he doesn't come with the cowl, complete missed opportunity, which again tells me that it was more based on conceptual drawing than potentially what we actually saw in the film.
I was going to mention with that concept thing, they also changed the Spider-Man gauntlets, like from red to black, I think, on that one as well. So that's another. So that could be changed, and it could be later on. But you think the cameos that they would have had probably some ideas, but maybe it is they have to work on more of them.
Hard to say though, because like these things take normally 2 years to make for us to begin with, right? So if we're getting them at practically day and date release, then they must have started it, I think, at the minimum, I would think, a year ago.
And it's rare that they even release figures with the movie, like with the hype of the movie. Like we were talking about how that's kind of they're actually doing it.
But I would rather them do that and miss on a few accessories than not get them for another year or two. Because I'm sick of seeing movies that I love and then having to wait 3 years for the figure. I'm still waiting on my In-Art Batman. That movie came out in like 2021 or something wild now. Like I'm going to have to watch it again just to reinvigorate my hype before I unbox it. It's been so long. 22, yeah. Almost 3 years.
It's been a while.
2 to 3 years, yeah.
I'm gonna put a tinfoil hat on here, and I almost feel like I said this it might have been last week or the week before. But I feel like if this figure was like the Kenobi figure, right, that takes a year, it takes 2 years, Hot Toys couldn't afford that, right? This is a figure, and I said it with Ladypool, like if it's 2 years down the line, that's like you're canceling that, right? There's no way. And I feel like I think it was Marco that said this, like the hype is dying down for this film. You know, in 2 years time, a year time, this is going to be an afterthought. And I think they have to get these out quickly because they're so niche and they're trying to strike on like this hot I don't really know what, but I just feel like it's more advantageous for them to push these out faster than it is like, you know, a Kenobi figure or any other figure that has been delayed that's a major character in their own particular franchise.
Oh yeah, totally agree
people
with you
will still buy those if they're, you know, 3 months late, 6 months late, but this sort of being rushed out the door makes a lot of sense to me because I don't really think this has really a significant appeal if we don't see these characters in any other medium, which I doubt. And yeah, also I think it's kind of shitty that supposedly the Reddit rumor mill is that, you know, Ryan Reynolds didn't license his likeness, but also he made figures of his wife and kids, right? But you can't throw us a fucking bone and give us a portrait likeness. I think that's kind of a shitty thing, but at any rate, I think we've checked them all on Kidpool. Sideshow put up a post today. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious. They're making limited edition Star Wars scum and villainy 6-scale figures. Dean, correct me if I'm wrong. These are all A New Hope figures, right? The aliens
Correct.
from the cantina.
Yeah.
And I know most of these characters, perhaps not all by name, but someone did enhance this photo, and so we obviously get a very clear picture of everybody. Dean, check them off for me from left to right. What do we got here?
Yeah, I also I wrote their names down a second ago.
Size Snoodles?
I
think it's the first one,
The
right?
one that snitches on Han Solo and them is the one on the left. That's Garinden. I think I'm saying that right.
Yes.
Then obviously you got Greedo right next to him. And then the two in the middle are probably the most infamous, right? You got Ponda Baba and Cornelius. What?
Evazan?
I don't know.
Yeah,
if that's
Dr.
how you say it.
Evazan.
Yeah, Dr. Evazan. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then you got the evil witch with the horns. I hate that alien so much. It's like Cardu, like it's like a bunch of shit. I don't even know how to say it.
Here we go.
It's a Balchinian up front there. Balchinian.
Yeah, it's a ball. Thank you, Ben. So 12-inch Moose Stream with a $20 super chat. Thank you for that. Here's my 2 cents. I'm
Thanks,
all in on
Moose.
Deadpool. I'm getting everything. Maybe 2 copies. I also already have 2 Deadpools in hand. I'd have 3 if not for Hot Toys Shit QC. I hope that I'm the first to show the whole Deadpool family. I need Deadpool variants. Love that guy and love that
Wow,
comment.
man. Wow.
Here's the thing, though.
Oilers-
Moose is really the only real collector, though. So there's that.
Oilers Workshop says, I'm going to use the body to make a kid link for my adult link from Ocarina of Time. I'll be selling everything else except maybe the squirt guns.
It's
Very
pretty
cool.
smart.
I like this a lot, right? Let me tell you why. I think where Sideshow's strength lies
You've
is
said
their
this a
alien
lot.
portraits. I've said this many times.
like-
Their Greedo is so fucking expensive.
Almost as many times as he's told us he's having a bad day.
Almost as many. Well, actually, I don't talk about it a lot. Badfish, crazy you mentioned that. I'm actually working on a custom. Anyways,
Jesus.
I think they make really good alien portraits. I think their Cad Bane Sideshow that portrait is amazing. Their Greedo is also very expensive. It's an older figure. I think I've probably seen it for sale in the 7 years we've been collecting, like twice. That's very rare.
Yeah, and their Cad Bane clone trooper disguise. That sculpt is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about their new Cad Bane.
Sorry, yes. The Denal disguise is what I was speaking of. But the new one is also very good. Correct.
Yeah.
Where I worry is, one, are these going to be scaled to match Hot Toys scale? Because Hot Toys scale is a bit, different. 2, the quality of the bodies. I think that's a concern. And honestly, I think they have a chance to really do something cool here because, you know, I think I personally wouldn't buy into this line, but the feedback that I've seen from the community, people are thrilled, right? The fact that they're showing you, first off, control the messaging. This is a wonderful way to do it, right? Don't fucking show me fucking Dr. Evazan to get me. Show me the whole fucking team that you're making, right? This is what I like to see.
Yeah.
This is a good way to do it.
Yeah, I feel like if they had just shown any single one of these guys, everyone would be like, okay, sure, I guess.
Bro, unload the clip, though.
Yeah, unloading the whole clip at once without giving all of it away, right? Because it's still like, oh, what are they going to come with? What accessories are going to look like? What are the, without the harsh shadows, what do the sculpts actually look like? Like this is, I think you're right. This is a really fantastic advertisement. I also
they need the
think,
werewolf dude, by the way. They need the werewolf dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
guy for sure.
I also think this is really smart.
Guy.
Not that I don't think Hot Toys would ever do these, but I think Hot Toys or Sideshow Strength is as an auxiliary to complement your Hot Toys collection, right? And obviously they haven't made a New Hope figures in a really long time. Maybe this is a sign that those are coming, but this to me is so fucking smart. Like, I know if Dr. Evazan was made by Hot Toys, people would buy it. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I like that Sideshow is doing this because, Dean, you have a New Hope Luke, you have a New Hope Obi-Wan, you have these characters that can go with these, right? And I think that's a really smart thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, I would be in Greedo at the least.
At minimum. Yeah, for you.
At minimum, Greedo. At most, the middle three.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really need the snitchy guy, although I really like him. His little voice. I don't even know.
Docking Bay 54.
The witch guy, I really don't give a fuck about that. But yeah. This is super tempting for me.
Now, if they really want to push it though, make a remake, because they've made this in the past. Some sort of diorama set, right? Maybe the bar, maybe the Han Solo,
Cantina
the
bands.
chair. Yeah. Wow, that would be crazy.
I think they did the Cantina characters before.
They did, but I'm saying that would be crazy if they did that. I wouldn't buy it, but again, like, you're basically guaranteeing to a very specific set of people you're selling a huge number of figures to.
Yeah.
They have to do it right, though. And I believe, don't quote me on this, but just thinking back on it, this might be the first new Sideshow Star Wars piece in a long time, like 1/6 scale. Other than the Clone Wars stuff. No, other than the Clone Wars anime. I'm talking about like original trilogy.
They did Luke and Yoda not that long ago, a few years.
Did they redo the Mythos?
They did the Jedi
Obi-Wan?
Luke.
I guess that doesn't count.
You're right.
No.
You know what, Dean? I'm gonna give you this. I feel like it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Oops, that was just 1 point.
No, it counts.
Well, okay. I'm going to give it to you. Anyways, what do you guys think about it? I actually thought this was great. And there was also some extra photos that Dean wanted to share.
Yeah, I was confused. Okay, because Ponda Baba is in the movie, and Obi-Wan Kenobi cuts off his arm. Spoiler. And when his arm lands on the ground, it looks like a werewolf hands.
They did do Skiff Guard Lando.
It's very furry, and he's got 5 fingers and claws. Like, it looks like it belongs on a werewolf.
Yeah.
But in the Sideshow photo, he's got these like weird suction cup looking fucking
hoofs,
things.
Bro.
And I was like, I know for a fact he doesn't have suction cups for hands. So I was like, let me ask Chris Porteous, because he's a fucking genius. And so he was like, well, depending on the shot, whether it's a wide shot or up close, it changes. So I looked up photos. Sure enough, sometimes it's a cup hand. And then most recently in Rogue One, it is an actual werewolf-looking hand.
Wow.
And I was like, well, what do the toys look like? So I looked up some of the toys. Black Series, it's a regular furry werewolf hand. And then in the 3 3/4 inch figures, it's all of the above. It's I don't know if you added the photos or not.
I think I might not have gotten that one.
There's some with the hands, like we've been describing. Then there's some with the cups, and then there's one with like a cup hand hybrid. There's really no kind of explanation for this other than
like the pants prints.
Yeah, and then in the prequels, it gets even worse. So the race is not a Balchinian; it's an Aqualish.
Wow.
And they have 3 fingers with no fur. They look like lizard hands with 3 fingers.
Jesus.
So I don't fucking know. The Sideshow one has the cup hands. I would be interested to see if it comes with the werewolf hands, because, like, to me, that's what Obi-Wan cuts off. Like, it doesn't get any more, like, apparent that that's what it should be.
Who wants the cup hands? Who's asking for the cup hands?
I don't know, but they're showing it with the cup hands, so
make hands.
Although for the species, the cup hands actually look like they're more
alien.
It kind of makes more sense. Yeah.
Looks like it makes more sense. Yeah.
Sam makes
like
a great suggestion here.
That's
would be
what I
a
was
great
gonna say,
opportunity to come with, I guess, both or different hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. It obviously has to come with a severed arm. If it doesn't, that's money on the table. That would be so stupid.
We're talking about Sideshow here, guys. Everyone,
and
don't,
for the love of God,
please.
don't make it exclusive, bro.
I was gonna say
limited edition.
The Hasbro, or no, it's the old Kenner 12-inch figure of this guy has a removable arm, and you could like display both. It kind of like cuts at the elbow.
A lot of them have that. Yeah.
So if Kenner could do it back in the 90s, I feel like fucking Sideshow could do it now. But that means it has to have the wolf claw, right? Like,
I'd say so.
It'd be weird to not have that. So I just wanted to bring that to attention because it fucking threw me for a loop. Because I saw the picture, I was like, what the fuck is on his hands? I guess I don't pay attention.
I never noticed that before, and I've seen this movie, it feels like 100 times. So that's insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Of the photo you showed, Zach, the one that's like they've lightened up a little bit, I do think that the human one does look like the worst by far.
It does.
Even though he's a very horribly disfigured person, he looks pretty rough. He doesn't even look like he's got the right skin color, but again, that just might be the way they've had to lighten the photo.
Black.
But
yeah, I will agree, and I think the only saving grace is, like you said, his face is kind of fucked up, but it almost looks like a character.
It looks like they give him a mustache. Like,
dude, he's got that nasty.
Like this is like the guy working on. Never mind.
Wow. Let's stop there.
I did stop there.
Yeah.
I don't even know where that sentence ends. I'm just imagining the worst.
I have very high hopes for this, like unreasonably high hopes.
That's dangerous to have, Zach.
I'm not buying them, so I'm not worried about those high hopes. But boy, like, Sideshow could have announced any 5 figures, maybe, except the bounty hunters, and I would have been like really excited about them. This is to me like the if they could have picked any 5 characters of Star Wars to announce, this is the 5. I don't think they could have done anything better, honestly. I really don't. Wow. Anyone else want to take a crack at this? If not, we'll move on.
I was just gonna say we don't know Hot Toys and Sideshow's arrangement, right? Because there's folks talking about, well, it's actually Sideshow's license, and I'm not sure about all that, right? I don't really have that information, but what is stopping Hot Toys from just doing these guys as well, or at the very least Greedo, and then you're kind of tanking? Well, what was that?
I said the Deadpool movie.
Deadpool, yeah, the whole Deadpool line. But and obviously they've had plenty of time to do
Iron
so.
Man.
But I feel like, if Hot Toys gets around to, at the very least, Greedo and maybe a few other of these, that kind of tanks this line, in my opinion, because we just know the delta between Hot Toys and Sideshow could be pretty large. So that's always going to be my main concern. Now, obviously, they're getting this out now, and Lord knows if Hot Toys will ever get around to this, but it's just always something that I think, like, okay, would you regret if Hot Toys drops this next year, at least 1 or 2 of these guys, are you going to be like, damn, well, okay, this line is now, as Joao would say, the poor cousin.
Yeah, and it's tough because historically, I feel like in the past, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, you would say like, oh well, it'll be cheaper with Sideshow, but their Clone Wars stuff, the animated style, was really expensive, like as expensive at the time as Hot Toys, and so I don't know that you're really saving money. Like if Hot Toys wants to be smart, or Sideshow rather wants to be smart, prices at 220. If you can get down to 180, that'd be incredible. But you gotta give people that reason, right? Because if Hot Toys does it, these are not going to be that price point. I don't think they will be. But Marco, that's an excellent point that that has to hang over people's heads, right? Hot Toys makes remakes of their own figures, right, when they're still selling that version of the figure. So yeah, I could definitely see that happening.
They just did it with the clones, right? All those Sideshow clones, they're finally starting to dip into them, and people are trying to sell the Sideshow ones.
Yeah, very true.
But I wonder if they're making these limited edition because so you can't wait to see how they are in stock. Like, is that that's like my
Probably
conspiracy tinfoil, putting my tinfoil hat on. It's like they want these to be limited edition, so like any other limited edition, if you put that on it, it sells out. People buy it just because of FOMO and stuff. I mean, even the Darth Maul thing eventually sold out, the Darth Maul Nightlight. But the I think just putting these limited will do that, where they can't sit in stock for people to see how good they actually are. But I'd probably agree with Dean. The middle three would be the most tempting, and Greedo for sure. I think would be because I mean you can put him with Han if we for some reason get one, who knows, but or if you have one, or can make mix it up with the Return of the Jedi sculpt now and make a custom. But the Wolfman though, only thing I'll say, we didn't get him even with the HasLab, so that'd be cool if we got him. But if they do more from the Cantina because of the Scum and Villainy line, it'd be interesting. But I don't know if I think you're right, Zach, though. They have to hit a good price point. Otherwise, I think Hot Toys could just swoop in. And I kind of hope they do sooner than later. And then I could just make my decision.
All good points.
New rule really quick. Bad Fish and I can't go back to back. Our voices are both too smooth. We're going to put people straight to bed. So you got to mix us up right here. We just, it's just too much smoothness back to back.
Too much nut. Let's see. We have an update here from Jazz Inc. Dioramas on the Catwoman figure. So it looks like they are showing off some of their sculpts. The Clean Sculpt 2-in-1 Basic and DX, these sculpts will be included in the Clean Ultimate DX. They also have more, I guess you would say, like paint test prototypes. It's actually Yost's birthday, so happy birthday, Yost. Hope you had a good one if you watched C-Dubs.
Hey, happy birthday.
He also showed off the Battle Damage sculpts 1, 2, and 3. These are the DX Battle Damage version sculpts, looking real good. And I believe Yost said on the group that they should have something up on the website in the next few months for a pre-order. Obviously, they were rushed a bit as far as the way that they wanted to announce this release with other third parties making a version of this character. So, I think they look good. There's been some kind of interesting requests on the group that are kind of silly to me, but I think these Paint Master prototypes are coming out pretty decent, and excited to see what the final outfit and figure package stuff looks like.
I think it was on Ben's show on Sunday. We talked about all the SKUs, and
I was thinking the link stack if you want to take a look.
Yeah, and kind of like how you could kind of match how you want to buy the figure. There it is.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, there's a lot of SKUs on this one.
Yeah, because the 2-pack seems like a smart idea, but you're also getting 2 of everything, which seems kind of like a lot. So I feel like you could just get 1 DX and the 1 regular figure. and then you could get clean and then battle damage, or vice versa, or however you want to do it. So there's a lot of options for people that are interested in this figure. So that's cool to see. It's a lot of head sculpts. I like that milk, that one right there, dude. Getting some milk.
See poppy.
She's like, give me all the milk.
Jesus.
I'm a nut.
I didn't click
God
it.
damn it. God damn it.
So Eddie isn't here tonight, so I've got to like argue with him in my mind, because I could already see him calling me out for being like, you're being too negative, like you guys are nitpicking every fucking thing, right? He likes to play that devil's advocate, and maybe that's the case, but I am a huge fan of these 1/6 figures. I do like to be really analytical and critical of everything that is done, and so far I was pretty critical up front of Jazz Inc.'s rollout of this figure, right? I think their hand was forced a little bit. They kind of had to unveil it maybe sooner than they planned. But I do like these regular updates, actually. So I'm going to give them some props that it seems like, they're sharing a lot of information. There's a lot of stuff to sift through, excuse me. It seems like it's coming along very nicely. I still remain skeptical, though, that this is going to be, at the end of the day, just like an incredible representation of the character. But I think all of the attention to detail, all of the research, controlling the message, Yost is trying to do as well as he can to say, like, here's all the reasons why we're doing it this way. I think they're doing so much right, but I still can't shake that feeling of being skeptical, again, that this is going to turn out as well as we all hope it is. And I hope I'm wrong. I'm not rooting against Jazz Inc. In fact, I'm rooting for them, but they are being very, very ambitious with this project. So I'm very much in a wait and see mode, but yeah, the latest head sculpts look really good. So I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
See, I totally agree with what you're saying up to a certain extent. I don't think that Jazz Inc. can afford to fail on this one, though. Like their whole brand so far has been trying to execute kind of that premium level, and especially once they went licensed, we've seen continuous improvements to their paint applications and customer service and all of the things. Obviously, there's been some one-off, QC issues here and there, but that's with every company. Their first foray into a 6-scale figure that's a licensed figure, I think has to be supreme. It has to hit on all the points that we're hoping for, or else like they'll become a joke in that field of figures, not just it'll dilute their business. Whereas like InArt, for example, when they showed up on the scene, they were still kind of adjacent to Queen Studios statues and all of what Queen Studio does. So if they did well, they could be like, well, of course we're a division of Queen Studios. And if they did horribly, they could be like, we're cutting this brand out. It was the cancer of our brand. It never should have happened, right? Jazz Inc. can't do that with this figure. So I think it has to be good. And some of the things that he's communicated, being Yost in some of his live streams, I thought have been really, really good. Like, for example, I was wondering why there were so many sculpts. But part of the reason he's mentioned is that the rolling eye system is actually really expensive to create. So instead of doing that, instead of just having a dead stare look, he's given multiple sculpts with multiple different facial expressions and kind of perceptions or like ways the character's looking. I think that is fantastic. I think the style of hair that he's using, not doing a sculpted version, but doing kind of like the strands of hair out the mask, I think elevate the figure without it having to be like an artisan brand or like a premium brand. It's just part of that brand, and I think that's really, really strong. I like the peek behind the curtain. I like seeing the testing of the materials and the flexibility on that suit. And I think the passion that he's got behind this figure and this character, having the different pieces for the different fingernails and stuff, 100% it's ambitious. But if they nail it, they'll set themselves as another premium offering that people can look forward to for future releases. I don't think that they can afford to fail on this one. My question will be, is how long will it be between pre-order and actually getting the figure in hand? Especially with so many SKUs that they've got for it, how long will we actually have to wait? Is this another 2 years before it's actually in our displays? I don't think he's addressed that. I do think, Zach, that he addressed, though, that it's going to be coming up somewhere mid-September for the pre-order. So not even a couple months out. It's like literally next month. So I'll definitely be staying tuned for that. I think the price points are even pretty realistic. If you get a bit of a discount getting the 2-pack, I think that's great. Except, like Dean said, I definitely don't need the 2 diorama displays, the 2 sets of cats, the 2 sets of snowbanks. Like, that seems a little excessive. But at the same time, they would need to have 6 SKUs then in order to, like, break that apart. So, like, it's probably more cost effective for them to just throw it in twice than it is for them to actually separate them into its own packaging and marketing and all of the things. I do think that the amount of SKUs they have is the only other thing that I find a little on the ambitious side. Because I'd be worried for them just as a business, and maybe I know nothing about business and dead stock, but I would be worried that they're going to end up with a lot of inventory that actually sits. Because people will make their selections and not necessarily buy then the other ones that are available. So how will the secondary market hold the value on these then, if you can get these individually later from dead stock at discounted rates? Hard to know.
I could be wrong, but I think with his vehicles, he does them made to order, right? So he'll put up the pre-order for a bit, and then they cut it off, and then he produces from there. So I'm not saying that's going to be their plan, but hopefully that's what they do to not have that dead stock you're talking about.
That's probably exactly what would happen then, if that's the case. And if that's the case, that completely eliminates that worry for me. I guess the only other then challenge is what do you do with the replacement parts, pieces that break, stuff like that, some QC issues, returns and stuff like that. Like, they need to obviously make some more to be able to factor that in for collectors. So
definitely.
Yeah, that was going to be my question is, have they announced that it's made to order? They haven't announced that at all yet, right?
Not that I've seen.
Well, made to order, they always, from what I understand, I'm talking to Yost, like, there is obviously a number of spare parts or spare figures that are made. So
yeah,
it's not like he's only making. Yeah, it's not
Exo 6 throws the grenade in the molding room and says, "That's it, we're done."
They delete the file. I don't understand that.
Yeah,
no, but Yost always has, from what I've heard, privately and publicly seen, like, there is always some amount of stock that's kept for replacement parts, or even in just here and there parts. So we'll see.
I'm really excited for it. I hope he nails it. I hope he nails it. I do need the Batman Returns though, so let's see if we get a Batman Returns. Sort of cut you off, Badfish.
No, I was just gonna say, I think if it's good, and I don't know how the pre-order window is gonna work, but I'd be tempted by just the single one, and probably not the battle damage, just to go with Batman, because she's a iconic character. I mean, not only just in that movie, but in film and in general. So. It would be cool to have an actual good representation on the shelf, because I've seen someone sent one of the custom, or was that on the show? Geez, the custom one you guys showed, I forget now. It was not
the custom Catwoman one.
Yeah, I think it was in the chat, and it had like a really big collar. I think
don't know if I saw it.
It was not great.
Let's see.
I think Zach wants to talk about this for a little bit longer. I saw him looking at his ceiling multiple times.
I had to say I was.
How dare you?
Had to grab one. Get it or not, right?
Right, get it or not. You have all these beautiful collectibles, Marco. You just have to want to gaze and wonder. You know
I do the same thing actually. I just find myself just looking around sometimes. So
I was trying to grab my PS Portal.
Hell yeah!
Wow, I'm gonna sign into Helldivers.
BP Portal.
Wow.
Wow. Damn.
Actually, the shipper box for Spider-Man said BP, and it made me laugh. Anyways, Iconic Studio is...
They're back.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't love this. I do not love this. So they put an Instagram post. They're announcing a new figure. One of the requests we get most often is to re-release our Ryu figure. As we have stated before, we don't do reissues of our figures. We believe that it should truly be collector pieces. We also don't reproduce the same character unless they're a significant variant on the previous release. For those who missed out on our classic Ryu to complete their collection, or for Ryu fans to get an alternate look for our iconic Street Fighter champion, we are proud to announce our latest 1/6 scale figure, Battle Ryu. This is the first in a new limited edition line. There will only be 888 of each figure in this new line available. Register now using the link in our bio for exclusive early access when pre-orders go up. I actually don't like this at all.
Why?
I think that instead of going right back to a battle Ryu, I think that they need to expand their line a bit further before they start going back and making limited edition exclusives. Yeah.
Bro, there's so many characters.
Street Fighter is a game that, I mean, even just on the show, we've named, a dozen characters that off the rip people would be thrilled to have. And I understand that Ryu is obviously like the guy, right? Like I get that.
Yeah, like the face of the brand.
But at this point, we have Ryu and we have Ken that have been released. I believe there's a Chun-Li for pre-order. We've teased Akuma.
No, there's no Chun-Li. They've teased her. We just
it's
no
not even up for
pre-order.
pre-order. Okay.
No.
I think they're. It almost like. One of the advice that I give people, like when they ask me, like, "Oh, I want to start a YouTube. What is your advice?" And I see this mistake so often, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna start a podcast or I'm gonna start a collecting channel. Great, fantastic. And they're like, but I really like to play video games too, so I'm gonna start a video game channel. And it's like, whoa, it's hard enough to get one thing going to then immediately try to do something else when that first thing isn't really going yet. I think you have to just keep that one thing going or add to it rather than trying to do something else, right? Like if you look at all the stuff that they've done, it's, to me, this is like their most expansive line, right? You got like the God, what is it? Patrick Bateman. Thank you. You got your Patrick Bateman figure. He's kind of on his own. You got these other figures. They're all kind of on their own. The Muhammad Ali, right? He's kind of on his own. The Elvis, kind of on his own. Thank you, Jay. I guess there was 2 versions of the Elvis, so maybe he's not on his own. But you have this line that is growing, and it's 2 figures, potentially 3. They've teased a 4th, which I don't even think we've seen anything since that tease. I don't understand. You're going back and almost immediately, you're not reissuing it, but you're remaking another version of the character, which is something we don't like with other companies. It seems like a weird zag, right? Like, expand this line before you get into, oh, here's Battle Ryu, right? I'm not the biggest Street Fighter fan that knows all the characters, but like, are we gonna see Battle Ken next? Like, do something different. Is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing. It's been a long time since I played Street Fighter, but I just don't like it. I need to see more on this line before you go back in and try to like make an exclusive version of something. I actually really don't like this. And I think this is a big mistake, to be honest. I also don't know what their normal production run is. So I don't know if 888 is like a big number for them or a small number. I don't know. Right. So, Hot Toys in some examples, like 1500 is what they do. So that's half of a Hot Toys run, but I don't know if their average figure does what a Hot Toys figure does. So I also don't know if that's a huge number. And I get it, right? Like,
we have
Trevor has a great point. This is similar to Mando Obi-Wan. It's an easy cash flow, little to no development cost of time. 100%. That's probably why. I just don't like it. I think that there are other different characters that you could be making. I just don't like this at all.
And just on that, tear off of that really quick before Dean goes. This is the 4th time that we've seen this exact, variant of this figure, right? The 4th time they're using this body. Now, I'm sure it was expensive to develop, but it just doesn't inspire any confidence in like, oh, they're going to keep expanding this line to give me all the characters that I love. It's like, maybe they're just going to use this body until they can't anymore, and then that's it. That's the end of the line, and that's, I guess I'm going all negative today, because, this is, when I saw it, I'm like, okay, cool, they're going to do another 1/6 figure. It's going to be the same frickin' version that we were just panning them for. It's like, come on, let's get some new characters introduced into this line, please.
Yeah, it's almost like Jada Toys did the right thing. They started with a small number of figures. I think it was just 3 in the first wave. Mm-hmm. But at the cons, they were showing a whole line of figures. Like, look at all these characters we've done that we're going to get ready to do. And slowly, we've been seeing all these Street Fighter characters And they also have exclusives. Sure, there's a BBTS exclusive, I think, where Ryu's in like gray or something, and then there's like another retailer exclusive where this is like the player 2 colors. Like, I have no problem with, you know, exclusive versions, but when you only have the 2 characters and your exclusive is the same character with a beard, it does kind of leave a bad taste in your mouth. Like, what the? Because the Akuma is also not out for pre-order, is it? Or is it on pre-order?
I believe he was on pre-order.
Was it? I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah, look that up.
I thought Chun-Li was, but I think I was confusing it with a third-party version of the character.
There is, I think, a third party.
Yeah. Oh, you're correct, Marco. Yeah, you're right. My apologies.
Yeah, because Oh yeah, Akuma is up for pre-order. So at least, I mean, it's a third character you have on order, but like Marco said, it's really based off the same body, and the outfit's not super totally different. So I don't know. Like, I feel like if you're gonna use that body till the fucking cows come home, like, pump out other characters. I don't know who else could kind of fit on that body in terms of Street Fighter, because the fucking, I mean, you could do Dan just off the top of my head. He's like a kin variant.
What about Bison? He's probably got enough, you know, material.
Yeah, and Bison,
out
you put the costume on it. Yeah, for sure. I guess maybe he's like much bigger, like in terms of height, but there's other characters you could do, or even like a Blanca. I don't know how you do the chest hair, but you could just make it green. But yeah, it's kind of like, why are you already going back to the same well? It is weird. I mean, maybe Ryu is just that fucking popular that they're being bombarded with Ryu requests. I don't know, but it does seem odd, Zach.
Trevor Weed here says, I think Iconic is struggling, and this is a stopgap or lifeline for them, sadly. And maybe that's the case. I think
like
even
they
if
were
this
doing good though.
But even if this is a way to like crowdfund a little bit and get some money so that they can fund other releases, then what I would love to see them do is at least kind of what like Marvel Cinematic Studios used to do, where they'd like have the big screen and they'd show all of the like the passion project, all of the films that they kind of like want to make, all the characters they're going to identify. Like even that would be pretty cool to have kind of like a Mortal Kombat style like square image that says, you know, we've done these versions, you know, these are the other ones we're interested in making, especially if we get the support behind these other characters. Here's one that's a variant, but it's going to help us fund those other projects. Like if they are struggling and that's what they need in order to fund the rest of the line, then I think if they were transparent about that, collectors would be like, okay, screw it, then like I will support that. If we support you here and it means we get more characters, then I'd support that. But for them to say they don't re-release their figures, which is kind of true, and they don't do reissues is kind of true, but only because the head sculpt is different and there's a couple of accessories that are slightly different. The body being the same, the body is such a physical presence of that character in the collection that the body in itself is a reissue then. Like to me, if the character is the same size and same body, it is a reissue. It just doesn't look, there's not enough to differentiate it. Even Exo 6, which you guys rag on all the time, they don't make Picard the same height as Data or the same height as Riker. Like they've gone out of their way to be specific to the characters that they're releasing, for better or for worse. So I think for them to say it this way, it's kind of cheating just a little bit. I think that they should have had the approach of, this is what we want to do. This is going to help us get there.
100% with you, Ben.
Even if this is a stopgap kind of thing, like, fuck, we need to bring in some money to help us fund the rest, then why is it only 888? I feel like if you were in that much trouble, you would just fucking sell as many as we fucking can, because, dear God, we need the help. You know what I mean?
I bet because Limited is more of a guaranteed income stream, in my opinion, than an open release. When it's open, people are like, I could wait. They don't need to pay the money now. If they know there's only 888 of them, these things will like snap up pretty quick.
Zach's Wonderland, Spider-Man stands, and Shuro and Shawarma 888 limited.
They could.
He's deleting the file at midnight, so.
Yeah, exactly.
They could put the price up a little bit too on the limited, maybe, but yeah, kind of agree.
But even the
as well.
The Akuma was already over $300 though, right? So the prices are already pretty high on these things, And I think you're right, Ben. You could do the limited, that could force people's hands, but to sell 900 of these, I don't know that there's a market. I could be wrong, and maybe I am, but yeah, it just it's kind of baffling, honestly. And why not just do like a crowdfunding thing, right? If they're struggling, put up and say, okay, here's as many as we need. These are all the orders we need in order to make this figure, Chun-Li, right? And here's the tiers where you're going to unlock more exclusive accessories. Try a different path than you're doing right now, because it's just not. It's not making the line very exciting, and I feel like I've said that a few times today. And obviously, there's some realities with collectibles, and there's being an oversaturation in the market, and the economy maybe being a little tough with inflation. But man, let's get some exciting stuff going again.
I would think that there's a market for this, especially knowing that it's a limited piece. I think people want limited things. There's at least 900 people in the world that think this is a cool enough character to spend $300 on, especially if something like that hologram, light thing from the Phantom Menace sold out. Like, people like limited stuff. I can see it. I can
especially if you missed out on the last version of Ryu too, and you're
that
like, okay, now I want to snatch this one up.
100%.
I think that they have. I think with Dean's point about it being limited, if they really were struggling for money, I think they have enough other revenue streams, right? They have like board games and stuff like that they do or whatever. So I would imagine
classic industry. That's I'm joking. I know nothing about board games.
Board games sell like I don't know,
maybe.
Some board game, and they can be expensive. I know people who are like that's all they do.
Sound like churros.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But
I feel attacked.
I feel like they've got enough going on, probably, that they're not necessarily in the death throes or whatever you want to call it. But who knows? It could be the case. But I think I agree with Dean that they wouldn't limit it in that case. They would just say, let's just make it to order then, and maybe we'll get 1,500, 2,000 orders and call it special edition, and it doesn't have to be limited.
Yeah. You guys are also not the first people who have theorized that maybe there's some struggling practices at the moment, and on live YouTube, right? So if I were them, I would also control the message, like Marco always says. Even if they are struggling, they should come out with a statement that says, this is not a struggle move, this is a strategic move. Here are the things that we want to release as a result of this. We hear you, we're fine, it's all good, guys. Keep supporting us, please. This is just one we were excited about. We're just passionate about this character.
Did they release? Trust me.
Did they release the Silent Hill stuff, or is that still like pending?
They did. And actually, to correct what I said earlier, those figures also are a pair that fit within each other in a line. But I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it. That's just my opinion.
Zach, you've actually totally fucking flipped my opinion.
And I think, like, I genuinely think, like, I've probably seen 80 people that have owned Ryu. Obviously, there's way more than 80 of them out there. But, like, Marco, you own Ryu, and I believe you own Ken also, correct?
I have Ken as well, yeah.
Is a second Ryu, like, are you like, damn, I can't wait to buy that second Ryu? Basically the same figure for the third time.
Yeah, and it was already kind of pissing me off when they were like, oh, Akuma. It's like, I get these are Street Fighter 5, they're not Street Fighter 2. But they know that Street Fighter 2 is one of the most popular video games of all time. They should be sticking to that core line of characters, the Chun-Li,
could also be
Kyle.
licensing.
But isn't that not Ken's look in Street Fighter 5? I thought he wore like a gray bodysuit.
Ken's look in Street Fighter 5.
I have to
that
look.
Was a red outfit.
I will say though,
the figure has a red outfit in two different sculpts. One like a more classic look. Go ahead, Badfish.
It's okay. The guy Andrew, was it, who used to be with them?
Andy.
Who was on? Andy, sorry. Andy did say that he mentioned. I always loved when he was on OFAC, but Dean's got the big screen. But he mentioned that licensors sometimes they very much control what you make, like
Street Fighter 5 Ken.
Especially when it comes to contracts, like they could have pushed them to make this exclusive So,
But at the same time, like, if the licensor is like, "Hey, remake Ryu," and they're like, "Well, we said we wouldn't," like,
well, here's a way to do it. Give him a beard.
I don't know.
I agree with you, Zach. It's not a good move, and
I don't like it.
They should just come out transparently what they're, if it is a.
Well, I think they were pretty transparent, right? They said, "Hey, this is a new line that we're doing. Every figure in this line is going to have 888, and you can register." Like, I think they're very clear about what they're doing. I just don't think it's a good move. I think that if this is diverting time, resource, and energy away from releasing Chun-Li or a different figure, then I frankly think it's a waste of time. I understand that there's some people that want a Ryu. I think if this in any way dilutes the secondary market for them, you know, outwardly saying like, "Hey, we want these figures to be collectible. We want them to potentially gain value." I think this is contradictory to everything that they came out and said to begin with. So I don't like it.
Yeah, I think it's just the clarity. If they did tease, like Dean said, and I think Ben as well, that if they just showed something that was coming down the line, like if you support this, these other characters are coming, and a lot of people even just any line, if they've done that people support them, or they often have.
Yeah,
if they tease those characters coming.
There you go. Let's see. Last figure of the day, we have the male Soul Survivor by 3-0. This is the, I would say like generic or like canon look for the character from
Nate the Rake, dude. Show some respect.
Oh, is that his name? I thought it was that one dude from The Pianist.
No, his name's Nate.
Is it really? Are you messing with me?
No, it's Nate the Rake. Look it up.
Oh, well.
He's
Nate
a fucking war criminal. That's why they call him the Rake, dude. Fucking cleaning up all those Canadians. When the United States annexed Canadians, they went and started killing everyone.
How dare
what
you?
Fallout is this from? The first one?
4.
Yeah, this is 4. Okay.
Yeah, Nate the Rake.
I didn't.
It's actually it's a really good likeness to Nate as well. You're 100% on.
I don't know if you're messing with me. I'm so confused.
I'm not fucking messing with you.
I've played the
Google
game.
Nate
They don't
the
go to
Rake.
Canada at all.
Anyways, that's the whole story of Fallout. Before the bombs dropped, they fucking annexed Canada. The United States annexed Canada, took everything.
Okay.
And then the Brotherhoods of Steel, or whatever they're called, fucking were like killing unarmed civilians. That's why they call him the Rake. Nate the Rake is actually a meme, but Nate was in fact doing that. And the community started calling him Nate the Rake as a result, because he's raking up all the maple leaves, dude.
Okay.
But his name's Nate. How dare you?
Okay. His name
He
is
said Nate so many times in the last 2 minutes.
He comes with the tactical nuke, the Fat Boy, I think is what they call it in the game. I think this is cool. Boy, I think this could use a different body, though. I'll tell you that much, America. Otherwise,
yeah, it's a little small.
I like this a lot. You get the Pit Boy, you get the mini nuke, you get the bobblehead, you get the big ass pistola. Could be a little bit more weathered as well. Although I guess if this is straight out the shelter,
the vault,
maybe not the vault. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. This is cool. This is cool. This is neat, I will say. I don't know if it's cool. I'm tempted by it because I loved Fallout 4. That might be one of the games that I've spent. You think I watched that cutscene? I want to get into the Fallout, bro.
Well, actually, it's the cutscenes from Fallout 1 or Fallout 2. Oh, no, it's the first Fallout.
I think Dean deserves a point for knowing the fact that was the default character, Nate. I think that's a point.
No, I know. I said it was the default character. I just didn't know his name was Nate.
He defaults to Nate if you don't change it.
You just worry about making good points and let Zach dole out the points.
How about we let
Dean
the point
deserves a point.
Okay,
how about this?
Care.
For Ben?
Right off, okay. Wow.
Back to 0.
That's fine. At least you know I've got your back, Dean.
So, yeah, in the first Fallout game, they show a cutscene of 2 of the guys in power armor killing unarmed civilians, and one of them laughs. That's kind of all of that cutscene. And then Fallout 4 came out, and it was a huge success. Well, one of the guys that worked on the game was like, "Did you know that Nate is actually one of those guys from the fucking cutscene?" And everyone's like, "So he's a war criminal?" And then the guy was like,
so this
he
is
tried
Todd's
to start
fault.
walking it back. No, it wasn't Todd. It was another guy. He tried to start walking it back, and everybody was like, "Nope, nope. Fucking Nate is based. He's a fucking war criminal. Nate the Rig."
I'll be honest, I didn't know any of that. I don't know. Must have gone right over me, as they say.
I really do like this figure too. I just feel like it should come with more weapons.
Like, which weapon would you want to see?
I don't know, like any kind of like there's
Laser
like a bunch
rifle.
of like makeshift rifles and.
I would have actually liked to see like a jumbo cockroach or something, or like a bug that he's fighting off.
Yeah,
or
like drain
roach,
open.
right?
Yeah, giant roach. Yeah,
or dog meat or something like.
dog meat. Yeah.
Anything.
I've already seen enough bad 1/6 scale dogs to last me a lifetime. I'm good.
You're not wrong, but like something other than a pistol and
a nuke, bro.
A nuke.
The fat
thing.
boy.
I'm surprised
Dude,
it doesn't come with
fucking-
a comic book as well.
I modded my game and I could shoot that at like an auto.
Holy
Just fucking
shit.
nukes going off everywhere. My game
Jesus.
would crash. It was amazing. I do like it. And 3.0, their price is usually pretty good. Did you say how much it was?
$179.99.
That's not bad. That's pretty
goodness.
good. I kind of want
This
to
is a
Nate the
get
Rake
for
in
me.
my collection, dude.
Yeah.
Please stop saying that.
No, I'm not. That's who he is.
Yeah, this is actually kind of sick. Like I do like this. I agree that there are other things this could come with. I would have liked a secondary head sculpt with some type of mask, because normally I put some type of demented, mask that you get off of one of the raiders on my character. So it would have been kind of cool to see some alternative looks, some swap out armor. But for 180, I can't complain too much with all it comes with. I think it comes with at least a nice little diversity. There's a fair amount of accessories here, so I think it's awesome. Like, I'm definitely intrigued by this. I haven't purchased too many 3.0 figures, Zach. Like you said, the bodies on them always seem a little bit thin from the Power Rangers were some that I'm like, they could be a little bit beefier in my mind, but
Never
overall,
play
yeah.
Metacom.
Okay, all right.
Metacoms are fucking awful.
Dude, he's got that 1,000-yard stare, bro. Look at
He
that.
definitely
He's thinking
does,
about all the
but-
Canadians he massacred.
Jesus. But it definitely captures the spirit of the video game graphics, so I think it's spot on, honestly. And yeah, it's one that I definitely will highly consider.
Hell yeah. I've been replaying this game, actually, having a fun time with it. I got the PS5 upgraded version of it. So one of my favorite parts of this game was the base building, though, and like setting up the comic stand on the base and like collecting all the different books and all the
I wish I could show you my base,
bobbleheads.
dude.
And it was awesome. It was such
Zach's
a,
base
it's such,
was very
such a fun
cool.
game. Yeah, I
Dude,
wish I
rip
could
to
show you
that
my
one
old
unnamed
one from
guard.
the PS4. But I even had my power armor set up like Centurions, like on the base, looking like they're protecting it. That was pretty cool. So, but I'm 100% going to get this for $179. That's wild. This is a buy for me.
The
It kind of got me wanting to fire this up
weak,
tonight.
though.
It's fun, dude.
The
Like I
body
say,
is weak. And how many hands does it come with? Like 6?
Like 4.
Don't get.
It's more,
Well,
more
it's
hands
4
than half the figures we talked about today.
plus the 2 you get. But I do agree, it's pretty cool for the price. And the Pip-Boy is kind of pretty detailed considering. But it's tempting. The freaking power armor they re-released, though, I think is almost more tempting than this. I don't know. But that's way more pricey. I thought this was third party with that body, though, Zach. For real, when I saw this at first,
Yeah, especially when his arm is bent, it looks.
it's
pretty
not
bad.
good. Yeah, maybe they'll do some improvements there, but
I feel like if the body was any bigger and with how tight that suit is, you wouldn't get any motion out of it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe that's why. But
We'll see.
179, dude, I'm all in, bro.
If
Pre-order
this
was
guy
on
ever shows
TS
up,
right now.
I know not to trust him and to kill him right away.
You know what I'm all in on, Dean? CollectorZone.com. Our friends over at
Yeah.
CollectorZone.com. 15% off in-stock items and full pay pre-orders with code CW. Marco, you got a giveaway going on with Collector Zone as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so this Friday on the podcast that my buddy Ty Uncommon Flex and I do. Dean's been on it. Would love to get the rest of you guys on there as well. So we're doing a giveaway of Bucky Barnes. So shout out to Marcos, and we're going to be doing it. It should be 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. You've got to be a member of the Collector Zone Cantina, which you should probably be anyways, because he's always dropping pretty good deals over there, really good deals. And then Collector Zone IG, and then follow Uncommon Flex and myself on YouTube. So looking forward to that fun giveaway happening live this Friday.
Fantastic. Let's see here. We have 2 things in the junk drawer. Let's rummage and see what we got. Deadpool and Wolverine passes Joker 2019 to become the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time.
Yay.
Very cool. Very cool.
That
was quick. I feel like that's real quick, honestly.
That was quick.
Yeah, it's what, 2-3 weeks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not bad.
Very cool. Very cool. Well deserved. Can't get away from that fucking movie.
I was saying, I'm surprised you said that after all your criticism.
I fucking hate Ryan Reynolds, so yeah.
Wow.
But I can separate the actor from the act. Let's see here. Speaking of things that people hate, the Acolyte season 2, or I guess the Acolyte, is canceled. We are not getting a season 2. And look, obviously, obviously, big fan, right? Love the Acolyte. However, I will say 2 things about this. One, first off, obviously everyone should be able to express themselves however they want. I don't think that includes criticism or consequences of those actions. And I just feel like some of the people that were a part of the show really couldn't get out of their own way. Obviously, before, during, and after, I feel like some of the people that wrote the show weren't really doing themselves a lot of favors. I feel like a lot of the cast weren't really doing themselves a lot of favors. Specifically, the main actress. Obviously, there was a bunch of trolling going on, and she made a music video trolling the fans. I thought it was silly, but it's like, bro,
that's super cringe.
Disney's fired people
I didn't
for
see
less.
this at all.
I gotta see that.
It's
beyond cringe, bro.
I mean, my phone teleported to my left hand, but it was not. I don't think it was probably the best thing to do.
It's got that.
And 2, I think that these networks are I don't know, what do you call Disney? Like the studio, I guess. I really think that they need to have better plans for these things because, or even have faith in these things. And if you can't do that, then I think that these things should wrap up as many unanswered questions as possible. I think, with Solo, which I actually really enjoyed Solo. I know that's a very unpopular, and I know this is very unpopular as well. I really enjoyed Solo. Even though the ending is my least favorite character of all Star Wars, I think it's a shame that plot thread, 1, was added in the first place, but 2, was essentially left unexplored. And I feel the same way with this. I think that these studios that are very quick to cancel programs like this, in this day and age, if you're giving us 8 episodes, the show should introduce, have its moment, and end and put a bow on it. And if you get a season 2, that's great. You can continue that story with some of the overarching themes. If you don't, at least it's a finished story. Because you end up with situations like this, where now we have, in my opinion, a very intriguing character that was introduced. And I just feel like the fact that this might have to be answered in a comic book or a book, I think it's really bad for the brand. And especially a brand like Star Wars, I think that they need to do better. I don't think they nailed it with the sequel trilogy. I don't think that they nailed it in many of the other programs since then. And, you know, I think it's a shame that there were so many plot threads left hanging. And, you know, I wish that we would do better. And, you know, I'm not really a big fan of the way television is done these days. You know, the 8-episode seasons, right? Like I'm watching X-Files right now, and I think season 2 is like 25, 26 episodes. I know Star Trek been many episodes, right? And these are long shows, right?
Yeah,
it's not like episodes, 45-minute episodes, right? I don't like the way that shows are done. And Trevor in the Patreon chat said this wonderful quote this morning. We were talking about it. He said, "I just want shows that tell a complete story and then get off the stage when they're done." I feel like that is like took all of my thoughts and just put it into like a nice sentence, because, you know, I think you end up with situations like this. And, you know, again, I know this is unpopular show. I pretty much expected this not to get renewed. I just think it's a shame that, you know, I think perhaps, you know, if some things were done differently and maybe weird quotes didn't come out and weird things weren't said, maybe this fans would have been more receptive to a second season. But yeah, I think that these brands, like for a brand like Star Wars, to me, like to cancel a second season is like that just shows, in my opinion, how low the brand has gotten, right? The fact that movies are being canceled from this property, shows are being canceled, second seasons are being canceled, other second seasons are being greenlit. I don't fucking understand that. Yeah, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
Now we know why Zach had such a bad day, I guess.
Jesus.
I think another thing that definitely hurt this show is all the characters that people liked got killed.
Which I don't have a problem with, because I think it sets stakes.
Yeah, but when all you're left with is the fucking green chick that no one likes. And
hold on, careful now, because I know we've had a long time to watch it, but I haven't finished this series, so if you could just not spoil it.
Are you being serious?
I'm being serious. If you wouldn't mind, just like being delicate with that topic. I'm gonna finish it.
I literally can't finish what I'm gonna say.
Go ahead.
Anyway,
go ahead then.
No,
earmuffs.
It's hard to be like excited for the second season when it's like these are the characters I'm left with. Like, I'm not even interested in them now, much less another season with, you know. But I saw a lot of, I don't even know what I want to go to. Forgot it.
Forget.
Go ahead, Dean. Did I fuck you up?
Zach
or
got
what?
a phone in his left hand.
I mean, you fucked up pretty good, but there was another thing I was going to say, and I just don't even know what I want to get into.
You don't have the
Short-circuited
energy?
the guy. Hate to say
Well,
it.
I have the
wonder
energy. I just don't want to piss people off.
Okay. So I wonder if maybe we're going to not have the same take, but it's really hard to talk about this show and unbundle it from this, like,
If you haven't
and
seen
there's
it.
there's a term that people like to use that I don't think is always applicable, but DEI, right? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. People love to say like, right? Well, everyone hated it because it was a DEI product, right? It was such like a binary way to look at things, or like, you know, and so I do hate that, because I love the fact that, you know, one of the leads was from Korea, learned English just to be in a Star Wars property. Daphne Keane, who's, I believe she's Spanish, but is, you know, fluent in Spanish, like beautiful young actress. I love the fact that like a beautiful, strong black woman was the main lead. Although I did have problems with the two young girls. No more kids in Star Wars, please. Stop doing that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I loved all the inclusion, but all the characters felt so robotic to me. The writing just didn't live up to, I thought, the idea of putting it in a period that was away from the main stuff that we really love was brilliant. So, of course, you know, studios are probably going to take the message like, oh, let's make things that are more connected to Star Wars and not less. It's like, no, actually, it's just write a good story. And the delta between the writing on this and the production values and everything versus Andor, and I wish Eddie was here again, but it's so massive, right? They don't even feel like they're from the same property in any way. And I think it is okay that not everything needs to be for everyone. You know, I always say She-Hulk, right? I didn't love She-Hulk, but Gigi loved She-Hulk. And say, okay, that was a property for her, and it doesn't always have to be for me. But this just didn't feel very good. And like I said, I'm going to go back and finish it because where I left off, it was starting to get a little bit better. Off? When the stranger pushes all the Jedi back was the last episode I saw.
You're like, I know. Episode 4?
Yeah, I want episode
like
3.
That. Maybe like that, but it just started.
I don't want to say 5. I think it was 5.
No,
okay,
I only got to
I think you're right, Ben.
I think it was 5.
I pushed through 3. I watched 4, and then I stopped watching it.
5 is really good. Even if you don't, even if you just watch 5 and the finale for the fight scenes, that's pretty fucking good.
There was some really good stuff there.
I'll definitely get to it, right? And I haven't given up on many Disney Plus shows. I think this one I gave up on. Secret Invasion, I've given up on completely because it was just so bad. Someday I'll go back, and then I think What If. Those are the 3 that I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not going to finish these.
Wait, what was the show you said? Invasion?
Secret Invasion.
Oh,
the Nick Fury one, which again, like just like this, had an incredible premise. Should have been amazing with all of the resources that Disney has to make these shows S tier, and it just feels cheap. And it's like, okay, I don't know what your plan is. So last point here, you're like, okay, show us your plan. Like, what are you planning to do with these characters? Where is Star Wars headed? They've got no plan, right? We know that Mando movie is coming out. That's hype. But then Dave Filoni has kind of had mixed results in my eyes, and it's just, I don't know. I don't want to pile on Star Wars more, but this show just really disappointed me because if you would have asked me 4 months before it came out, I was like, this one's going to be a banger. It's different enough. It's got an interesting cast. I think that
I think
Disney
you have
has
to finish
a lot of
it.
Okay,
I think you have to finish it before you can give it one final.
It's an incomplete review for sure.
One thing I would say, there was a TikTok that I really loved. The idiot, Star Wars Theory. I can't stand that fucking guy. This guy was making like a satirical TikTok of like, what if those kind of Star Wars YouTubers watched, like, what if episode 4 came out today and you're using this hypercritical, like, nth level nitpicking on that film, and then the episode 5 and episode 6.
Yeah, no
was
doubt.
Hilarious. I don't think that those movies would survive the hypercritical fan mindset. Like, they're great films, but when you really think about some of the shit in those movies, like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but we're in a totally different age now of movie making. And
you're right.
Compare this to Shogun, like a company that has way less resources, right? They've got to. I would have to look it up, but they can't. There are good writers out there that Disney can't get any of them for some fucking
Bad Fish, though. You don't even have to go outside of Disney. Andor did it
so
well.
There's even another so there are good products, but even like within the industry, there are some that are such a higher tier that are still being made. It is really frustrating when you see Star Wars literally kind of spinning in circles almost at this point.
That's because like Shogun is like about the story. All this shit that we've been getting from Disney is about the people making it, self-inserting themselves in the. I mean, the fucking green chick is married to the director of this fucking show. Like, it's literally like
nepotism, huh?
If we go any harder, we're gonna get a video response, guys. Careful.
Yeah, but like so.
But
I think
music
part
videos.
Ben, can I just say one last thing really quick though? Sorry, I just felt like I didn't finish my point, but I just hate the fact that you can't really talk about. It feels like you can't be as disparaging against this show as you may want to be, because then you get accused of not wanting inclusion and all those things. When it's
Marco,
like, no, I want exactly that. Like, I want that inclusion. Just do it well, please.
I'm so glad you said that because that was the fucking point I was gonna make.
Give him a point.
Ben, if you want to go first,
hang on,
no, you go.
Wait, hang on. Re-say that, Marco. I want to make sure I understood correctly.
It feels like if you are disparaging towards this show, then it's on the internet. Everything's binary. It's all black and white. But if you're disparaging, then it's like, oh well, you don't want inclusion in these properties. That's the reason why you don't like it. And obviously, I'm an advocate for seeing very diverse folks in there.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that.
Great.
That was my point. I saw so many articles that was like season 2 is canceled. The bigots won. So if you're critical of the show, you're automatically a bigot. Then where the fuck was everyone else? If this show was as good as you're saying it was, where the fuck is everyone else watching it? Are you telling me every single person's a fucking bigot? No. Every single person just doesn't like shitty writing and shitty stories. It's just not good. Like, it's like, well,
I will say the opposite can also be true, right? Like, you could like this show and not like it for the reason that is diverse, right? Like, you can dislike it and not dislike it because it is diverse, but you can.
I'm
also
not
like
saying
it
that there
not.
aren't bigots who
Yeah.
don't like the show.
I enjoyed the show.
If this show had 200 million streams, Disney wouldn't give a shit. They would keep it going.
And I think it started really strong and fell off.
It
Dean,
fell
right?
off because people are like, "This is fucking garbage. It's terrible." Marco, you haven't even finished it.
Yeah,
I've heard more.
You
people
stopped
with this-
watching it.
Yeah,
and
I've
you're
heard
still,
more people
you
say that.
still
with
are
this
kind of like,
series.
To
I
me,
need to
it got
finish
to
the
me.
show.
To me, I think it's a victim of the episodic nature of the way it was written. I think if this was a show that came out like all at once, I think it would have been better. But having unanswered questions linger for like 3 to 6 weeks is not good. It's not strong, in my opinion.
And it was supposed to be a
don't think it's
mystery,
it's
though,
smart
but there
move.
weren't like really strong mysteries. Like you're saying, the unresolved things, but I didn't feel like there was something that kept me pulling me. Like, oh, what's this thread that's going to be next? It's like, it's all kind of predictable.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Marco is open-minded enough to finish the show, and he still hasn't fucking finished it. Everyone else is like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like,
and I know a lot of people who've said the same thing. They've tried to finish it and haven't. And I've heard more people say that than I think any other Star Wars series. Probably since Boba Fett, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that was another one that was.
Yeah, that was another one that was. Yeah. And sorry, Shogun was on FX, which is Disney. So there you go. Even more reason, like, get some of this talent.
So
I've
there's
heard nothing
things
but
that,
good things about Shogun. I just don't have.
There's a couple
It
things
has a
that I think
99% on Rotten.
Hang on, let Ben get a crack in.
I
I've been able to get a word in edgewise for like 15 minutes.
Ben's been edging this whole
you guys
time,
have said
guys.
it all. Meat on the fucking bone. That's
Ben's
it.
been edging this whole time.
This or that, I quit. No, real quick points. I think diversity
Also,
inclusion
really
is
quick, no,
important.
kidding.
Oh my god. But I think if you're putting it in there because it's like you want to show diversity and inclusion, then that's the wrong reason. Star Wars should be a diverse universe. It's a galaxy far, far away. They should have always been diverse. George Lucas's wife is black. Like, he clearly wanted diversity. Star Wars Trek did the same thing, getting diversity and inclusion without having to say this is for the sake of it. They wanted people to be people, human beings, working together for a collective reason, and I thought that was really important, and that's something that I felt like this show didn't deliver on in terms of the diversity and inclusion side of it. For the story, I think, like you guys kind of mentioned, if you put all of the other Star Wars films, the original trilogy, even the prequel trilogy, under a bit of a microscope, the stories there weren't necessarily great either, but one thing that those films did do was make you feel like you're watching an actual real place unfold on the screen. That's something that Andor did really well with these big, broad shots. You felt like the world was large and beautiful, and like every scene, kind of like Rogue One, was like, oh my god, like breathtaking, beautiful scenery. And you didn't have to like love the Star Wars like story of the Phantom Menace to still appreciate the world building that they were doing in those films. And the world building in this show just for me wasn't there. I think if I'd watched this as like a stage show or like a play, it would have actually been pretty good, because that's kind of how it felt. It was like a Star Wars play but on TV, which is I think is kind of why it felt cheap.
That's a great point, Ben.
Right? Like, I think it's kind of why it felt a little on the cheap side. Sets felt very small. It felt like they could have literally changed the scene and behind the actors, like, for the next scene. Like, it just felt too tiny, and not having that kind of visual, impactful world building that we expect from Star Wars. So in that sense, it failed. Because otherwise, It was an easy watch, 8 episodes. The episodes weren't super long. I definitely enjoyed some of the... I actually enjoyed most of the characters. I thought they all brought some really good aspects to them. Normally, I have a hard time getting on board with new characters, but I was happy to not see another Skywalker in the mix.
Shit.
There was no relative of Skywalker. There was no... like, these were people we'd never like heard of before, and they made me like them for better or for worse. And some of the ones that they did kill off, I was shocked that they weren't going to be continued in the series. And so I thought they deserved some credibility for making that tough choice. I do think, though, that it just felt too small, and that's part of the reason that people just felt like, it feels like a B-level performance, like a stage show, not necessarily like a real true canon show of Star Wars, whereas some of the others definitely have.
Canon now.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was bummed out. I get it. Like, I understand why the show didn't get renewed. I didn't expect it to. I just think that Disney and Star Wars have to be better. I think that, to me, that's very beneath the brand. A lot of the content that we've been getting, including when George Lucas was at the helm, in my opinion, is beneath the brand. So, I don't think that he's infallible. I think he's made some stuff that wasn't super great. Some plot points that were kind of silly. And, you know, I don't know. I was
One thing
upset,
that doesn't bode well for me, Marco, is when I saw that this was on the show sheet today, I could legitimately not remember how the show ended. And I only watched it, 2 months ago? I honestly couldn't remember how it ended. I had to go back.
Is it because it was that forgettable? Or you were that
I just felt like
crazy,
it was forgettable
Ben.
for me.
That's
I forgot how it ended.
crazy.
I had to go back and look. Yeah.
Were you high when you watched it?
Of course. Of course.
Well, there
That
you
could
go.
be a contributor.
Canadian Indica,
Honestly,
man. It's a terrible thing.
look,
or a good thing.
I
Can't remember that either.
Yeah, and it's funny because like a lot of the criticism that this show gets, because I think what Mr. Musashi is saying is like, you know, in 20 years from now, we're 20 years from episode 1, right? I vividly remember episode 1, watching it and being like, what the fuck was that? You know, there were some cool scenes, don't get me wrong. And looking back on the historical recorded reactions, like, yes, people were very confused at that time. And I think now, right, when I hear people, what was it, back in May, they re-released episode 1 in the theaters, and people were like, oh my god, I forgot how great this movie was. Like, it has aged, to me, it's received better now than it was 20 years ago. It's had 20 years to simmer, right? And I wonder in some amount of time if this will be received that way. And because of that movie being very relevant, right, at the time that this show came out, or close to the time the show came out, you know, a lot of people were looking at some of the choreography, fight choreography in this show, and saying like, oh, it's terrible, it looks so stupid. And when you compare it to the choreography and the Duel of the Fates, it's like that also has some really funny, silly things in it, right?
How dare you?
And when you take that level of like micro pixel analyzation, right, you're gonna find some silly stuff, right? There are moments in episode 1 fight where Darth Maul could have ended the fight, or Obi-Wan's just standing there doing nothing when he could have ended the fight. There are like many moments in any of these shows and movies from Star Wars where you can say like, oh, like, why didn't this happen, right? Or why did the character do this or that? And I wonder in time if this show will sort of gain a cult following. I don't think it will, but I think it'll be interesting to revisit this, you know, down the line and see, well, was it more well received? I think a lot of the criticism, some of the more silly criticism for the show is kind of silly, right? Like, I want to say that, Marco, you've passed this point in the show, but there's a line from a character that shows in the prequels, or he's present for a scene, right? And so many people are like hearkening back to like, oh, this breaks canon. You know, how is he here? One, how is this? This doesn't make any sense. And they explain at the end of the show, which again, that question, that thought, and those people were allowed to simmer for many, many, many episodes before it's revealed as to why. But it's like, okay, the canon for that is like some trivia DVD from like episode 1 CD-ROM, and in that same CD-ROM there's like 40 things that, like, Mace Windu had a yellow lightsaber. There's all these other contradictions that we choose to ignore, but we'll hyper focus on that one thing. So yeah, I think it will be very interesting, right? How this will age. Episode 3, I think, in my opinion, has been the one that's aged most gracefully. I think, back then, I think it was pretty well received. And I think even now, I mean, a lot of people that rank their top Star Wars films, that's, when I see lists, that's always up there. And I think historically it hadn't been the case until recently. So I think it'll be interesting to see, in time, if this is received better. I think it's a shame that, we may not get a Hot Toys release from this. I think Hot Toys is, barring Andor, or maybe they made a trooper from Andor, but I think they've released at least one figure from every show. Maybe not Andor.
Nothing from Andor. Nothing from Andor.
Gotcha. So Andor also. And even like Lego, which Lego did release an Andor set, they have not shown yet anything. And I was going to make a video on like the top 5 sets I wanted from Lego for this show, but I don't think it's really worth the time to do. And, Hasbro went pretty deep on it, but they're missing some very key characters. So, yeah.
Yeah, nothing's ever really dead, right? Like, Beetlejuice is getting a sequel this month. And that how long ago was that movie?
Yeah, but Manny Jacinto is very handsome. I don't want 50-year-old Manny
something?
Jacinto. I need it now, bro.
I'm just saying, like...
Yeah, you're right. Maybe because I believe the Rey movie was canceled and they brought it something back, right?
Yeah,
or do it like Clone Wars. They'll bring it back.
Yeah, it's possible that like once they get their shit together, they're like, hey, let's give this another fucking crack and get it right.
No, I will say also, there was a lot of people that messaged me, and that was kind of fucked up, if I'm being honest. Like, haha, it got canceled, and like,
what, really?
Like, yeah, it felt a bit mean-spirited, but
I did not do that to Zach.
Yeah, but it's fine. Like, I was a very vocal supporter of the show. Very unpopular opinion. I understand it, but
20 years, maybe Zach.
I think it's a shame Wolverine to have a lot of celebration, right, over something being canceled. At any rate, let's Dean, let's say hi to the people that keep the lights on. This list is pretty updated. I still need to check out the double Jareds, but we're gonna continue updating this list.
Okay, we got Captain Fordo, Ian CB, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, Equan, Chris Valencerina, Ben Thomas, David Jones, Sam Guest, Joao Bretta, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Six Guns Figs, Billy Badfish, Joe Chet Beeks Corpus, Luke Skywalker, Sweet Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Big Old Fern, Caesar Marquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomonsky, Victor Gregorio, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Alan Morgan, Tuk Hathri, Wa, Derek B, Arias Portillo, Alvin J, Mario Delgado, Aurelus Delgado, Toy Cartel, Sith Scale Collector, Jared Gagney, I'm just gonna say Jared G, Alberto Cortez, Big Rib, Trevor Weed, Jared G again, Matt Clevenger, Don Maton, Stephen Purchase, Sean Usv, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Exodus, Abe Dunk TV, and GG the Judgmental.
Also from Manny, a little remix here.
Whoa!
I kind of like that. I meant to click that one. I clicked the wrong button.
Echo. A reverb, sorry.
There you go.
Sweet, beautiful angels. Thank you, guys.
And really quickly, Nathan is saying, I'm not trying to be a hater. I do think they will go back to this time period and elaborate on the story setup from Acolyte. That'd be kind of a cool way to, because I do want them to explore this period a bit more, but maybe you distance yourself from the negativity of that show and then pick up with some new characters and a new showrunner. Maybe. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, then maybe connect it in like a season 3 or a season 2 of that show.
There you go.
There you go. Let's see.
Nate the Rake.
here.
It had. I was gonna say the show had good bones, but the connective tissue wasn't there, so it all fell apart.
Let's
It was
see
like
here.
when that chick took off the Human Torch's skin. He just
Damn. Just like
Oh
that.
my god.
Let's see here.
Zach, are you okay?
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to double check something.
I think he's had a bad day. He hasn't really told us, but he might be.
Yeah.
Because he had a bad day.
So the September, October, I actually shipped these out this week with everyone's orders. Everything went out Monday. I think there was only 2 letters that need to go out still. I'm sending a bunch of packages, and I needed to get some international stuff done, and the line was a bit long. But those will be going out this week. So yeah, we got the Ox Joker sticker and the Dark Timeline sticker, which is hilarious, actually. Let's see. Do I have it here? Look at this.
I don't know
Badfish.
if we're in the dark timeline.
We are in the Dark Timeline.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Acolyte got canceled.
How dare you?
Maybe we're making our way back.
Well,
we're back towards the light. We have the hot seat tier for $5 a month, the Sweet Angel tier $7.50 with stickers sent straight to your door, and access to Ox After Dark replay. I don't know what that means, Batfish. Certified Crispy, the $15 tier, and the $25 doubles all the stickers we send, and the Pog Deluxe set on your first pledge. Looking at our YouTube channel members, we have Absolute Irwin, Alvin J, Andrew Gibo, let's see here, Benjamin Hansen, Big Ol' Fern, Bob Dylan, CC3PO, Chris V, CT603, DJ Daminator, Doc Smizzle, Equan, Fat Batman, Gare Bear, Good Old Spotchka, Gotham Cenobites, Justin Sports Card, LV Avenger 702, Mark Pearson, Mike L, Money, Eddie Money Mendez, OG Fan, OMFG Rick, 16 Figure Focus, Paul Schreiber, Philip the Fool, S Beam, Scarnlord, Sam Giss, SpongeBob SquareBall, Sunnyvale Rest, The Ben Thomas Show, Toy Mafia, and Exodus. You can become a YouTube channel member for 99 cents or $2.99 if you are in the Peanut Gallery. Here's a look at our T Public if you want to buy a shirt there. And looking at the network, we have Movie Night and Small Talk alternating Thursdays, Mind Flayers Web on Saturday, After Dark on Wednesdays, and Just Another Friday Night on Fridays. This week, Badfish, is it Movie Night or is it Small Talk?
How dare you?
Oh, damn it,
It's
Trevor.
Small
I'm
Talk.
sorry. Trevor, I love you. You will be on the list. I'm sorry. I'm a one-man operation when it comes to updating this, and it's not alphabetical, which I've always wanted.
I said Trevor Weed.
Oh yeah, Trevor, you are on the, or maybe he's not on the member list. Hang on.
Maybe
here
he
we
meant
go.
the YouTube. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, Trevor, you're on this list. Are you? Oh, he is a member. Trevor, I'll update that. My apologies. Yeah, the YouTube one I need to add. So Trevor Weed, YouTube channel member #1. Love it. Actually, this one is alphabetical, so I can't update that very quickly. But yeah, shout out time. I have 2 shout outs. Scarnlord, who watches our show, started a YouTube channel, and it is Geek Dad Ventures. I was like, my brain was trying to when he sent me his URL, I was like, is it Geek Dad or Geeked Adventures? Anyways, great guy, longtime listener of the show. We'll give him a subscription. I forgot I didn't subscribe. But yeah, he sent me the link this morning, and he does a lot of shorts and a lot of 6-scale stuff. So he's been a longtime watcher of the show, so we appreciate him. It was funny. He was asking me for advice.
Oh, we're not
and,
seeing your screen.
Oh, are you not seeing it? Jesus.
No.
Thank you. He asked me for advice, and he said he just got started. I was like, bro, if you have almost 11,000 subscribers and you just started, I'm gonna need to ask you for
Holy
advice,
shit.
my guy.
And his thumbnails are already better than Ben's too. This is wild.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Jesus.
Also, a shout out here. Let me
Yeah, what did I do to you? Because I
Didn't
defended
Ben
Dean
get
that one
10K
time
before
today.
any of us?
Holy shit.
Here we go. So there's his link, and then also I wanted to shout out Cam Collects. I don't know if he would like me to say why I'm shouting him out, but he's obviously has a YouTube channel, and I think he's going to be doing some streams. So he picked up a mic, and we were chatting over the weekend. He made a very touching gesture. I will say this really moved me to tears. So Cam Collects, great guy.
A BH
It's not that. Nope, even better. And so shout out to Cam. He's also on TikTok, Instagram, all those other medias. But yeah, really, I mean, it moved me greatly. So thank you, Cam, for the wonderful gesture. And yeah, I just wanted to give those two guys a shout out.
You used one of the churros on you?
Even better. Anyone have any other shout outs they want to give?
Honestly, for me, it's just the people that come every week. Seeing the same names in all the different chats. Sometimes a lot of the topics do get repeated. Sometimes we have panelists, like Dean was on Let's Get Nuts Sunday. A lot of the people here in the chat were there with us on Sunday, having fun and getting nuts, and they're back again here on Tuesday talking about some of the same figures and just enjoying the time with us. So the folks that take hours of their life every single week to tune into us and our crazy shenanigans, it's more appreciated than you think. Knowing that you guys are waiting for us does motivate us to be here.
Yeah. Poor little Ben. Ben was also having a rough day, and he rallied for you all because he knew you counted on him.
I lost weight this week.
Wow. Yeah.
We can all be so lucky.
Not in a positive way.
Did you accidentally eat a pita or what?
No, I think it was the shawarma that fucked me over, but yeah.
Yeah, I hate to
Wish
see
a
it.
bit extra done. You just crisp. Can you crisp up the meat a little bit, please?
Anyone have a? I don't know why that reminds me. That's something funny you said, but I'm having a tough time remembering. Anyone else have a shout out they want to give?
Just check out Small Talk later this week, and we should be doing D&D again, right?
Hopefully.
This week,
I don't wanna promise
last
nothing.
week was just freaking one massive battle, basically.
Yeah, fucking fight took like 2 hours. Like,
It was
holy
crazy.
shit.
Fighting demons is hard, but yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it. I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Marco.
I'm Ben.
I'm Badfish.
We'll catch you on the next episode. I was waiting for Eddie. I don't know why. Subliminally. Love you guys, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye.